I'm David Wright from Survivor Millennials vs. Gen X, and this is Survivor Talk with Dwaine and David. Whatever generation you're from, these guys are worth listening to.
Welcome to Survivor Talk with D&D. My name is Dwaine, and my buddy David is here with me. And David, I haven't talked to you in like 2.5 months, man. How you been?
Nothing's really changed except we've got some awesome new music for our intro.
Oh, I do like
that. Really, really good.
Yeah. And a big thank you to David Wright for recording an intro for us. That was really nice of him.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So we have actually talked to each other in the last 2.5 months. Quite a bit. In fact, we did a show last week.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah, we did. So tonight is our Survivor Talk with the D&D Survivor Challenge. See, it's harder to say it than you think. D&D Survivor Challenge draft, but we're doing it a little differently. Let me introduce you to our friend and blogger on our website, survivortalkwithdnd.com, Ryan Kaiser.
There you go.
It's only taken him like 5 podcasts.
I know. Well, it's kind of like the whole like dress and poverty. You know, like Brooks called poverty the entire first time she was on it. That's kind of how I've been feeling the whole past few months.
Is it K-A-I?
K-A-I.
So like said is so it could be Kezer. Dwaine is A-I, Kaiser.
I'm sure I know my own name.
Well, I know, but why is A-I? Anyway.
I don't know.
It says on the Durham War Survival Challenge Season 4 Championship Trophy, Kaiser. So that's what it says. You gotta go by that.
You mean it's written? Yeah,
it is written.
K-I-S-E-R.
Yeah. You know, I don't think it's on there. I should get that carved on there.
The trophy speaks. It does. Yeah. It speaks.
Well, welcome to the show, Ryan. It's good to have you on. We have asked Ryan to come on because David and I have decided we're not going to be so super competitive this season. We are just going to enjoy the heck out of the D&D Survivor Challenge.
So the whole pre-show is going to be by Ryan because we have not studied.
That is not true.
Just me.
And if it was true, we wouldn't tell everybody, but it's not true.
Okay, just delete that part out then.
I ain't deleting nothing on, man. You say it goes on the air.
Well,
anyway, so what we've done, if you are familiar with the D&D Survivor Challenge, it is on our group. What is our group? stwdd.com/Facebook. And the challenge is run only in the group. I believe the deadline is over. That's why we did a show last week. And we're going to pick teams of 10. Oh, no, we're not. David, what are we doing? Instead of us picking teams of 10.
It's going to be
Ryan. Go ahead. Ryan, you tell them what we're doing.
Oh, I don't know. I was just told to pick teams for you guys, so I did.
David, why don't you tell everybody?
We're kind of winging it.
Since I asked you to tell everybody. Why don't you tell everybody?
Okay, Ryan's picking teams for us.
Thank you.
We asked Ryan to randomly pick teams, and my guess is he's sorted them by some sort of ranking that he has come up with in his.
Well, I didn't want to leave Dwaine with a horrible team and you with a great one, or vice versa.
I told you that was no problem. That was not be a problem if that happened.
Well, I'm all about being fair, so you know me.
So technically, what Ryan has done is he has taken all 20 contestants.
It's only an 8-episode season, so yeah.
Dwayne's really practicing.
I haven't talked about Survivor in 3.5 months, or however long. Anyway, he's taken all 20 players and somehow randomly assigned them to each of our teams. Ryan, you want to tell us how you did that random assignment?
Yeah, I had this big dartboard, and I just kind of threw some darts, and that's where they stuck. Is where you guys ended.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. Oh. I just basically what I did. I ranked them according to my totally unbiased ranking of people 1 to 20, and then kind of just went down the list and went back and forth.
No, I wanted you to do a complete random.
Why would you want that? Why would you?
Because now all you've done is taken your team and divided it evenly.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, that's what you just said.
I mean, that's
all right.
How it kind of turned out, but
what we could do? You haven't ranked 1 to 20, right?
Well, not anymore. I mean, they're somewhere.
Oh, I got you. I was gonna say we could pick a number, but since he's already done it,
he's already done it.
It's random enough. Calm down.
All right. You never know when Ryan's telling the truth or when he's joking with you. You know?
I am a good liar.
But you can tell when Dwayne's not happy about something.
Yeah.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so what we're going to do tonight is we are going to, I don't know what order we're going to do this in, but we are going to tell you our answers to the D&D challenge bonus questions, right? We're also going to share our team names, and there is a gentleman's challenge for the team names and who will win. So I will tell you my team name, and David will tell you his team name. And tonight on our Facebook group, I will put up a poll of whose team name is the best. And David, you are allowed to explain your team name. So I will gladly put that in the post if you would like to explain how or what your team name means. All right.
I don't think mine will need much explanation.
All right. Well, mine will. So anyway. All right. So we're going to go down the list. Ryan's going to just pick somebody, and then we're going to talk about that person, and then he's going to tell us whose team that person is on. Right?
Yeah. Did you not get the list? I gave you the list. That's fine. Though. We can just pretend like it's at random.
I didn't say you were going to talk about him randomly. I said you were going to pick a person and talk about him. I don't care what order you do it in.
All right. Well, are you ready to start?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you
All
are.
right. Well, we're going to start with Tony,
Ooh,
the king.
I like Tony. He's one of my 10 favorites.
So what Dwayne and I decided to do was just for fun, was to pick 10 people that we really want to see play again. They may not be the people we think are going to finish in the top 10, but just to compare to what Ryan has for us, we picked 10 people that we just want to see play.
Yeah.
For one reason or another, we just want to see them play. So we're going to hope that I get my 10.
They're my favorites. I don't know if I don't know if they would give me good points. I may not have picked them for my D&D challenge team, but they're my 10 favorites. I really only had 8, and I had to come up with an extra 2.
Yeah, I would not have put all these on my challenge team.
Yeah.
But,
Why don't we go ahead and tell them who our 10 favorites are, and then whenever Ryan reveals whose team someone's on, we'll be able to go, hey, he was one of my favorites. Now he's on my team.
Why don't we just do that after he tells us what team they're on?
I should have made podcast notes. Y'all are just taking this whole show out of my control, which I hate. So I'm just going to shut up.
People are listening and going, how long have these guys been doing this?
We're changing the game.
Yeah. How long has Dwayne been in charge of the podcast, and now everyone else is taking it out of my hands?
Now, the question is,
guys.
has he ever been in charge of the podcast?
Yes, I have. So go ahead. Y'all take care of it. Y'all do whatever you want to do. Just tell me what I'm supposed to do.
We're talking about Tony first. So I will say that Tony is on my list of favorites to watch. And for the simple reason that he played such a unique and dominant game in Cagayan, I would love to see, and this is part of my reasoning for wanting to see these 10 people again, I want to see how he plays different. He's got a huge challenge, I think. He's a physical player. He's a smart player. He's a savvy player. And I think he has a huge challenge, him and another player, to get past the merge.
It's really weird.
It's going to be difficult for him to do
first time around, Tony wasn't someone that really should have won. Like you play 100, like Survivor 100 times, Tony loses 99 out of those times. That's how I feel about him. I mean, he's a great player. He's just so over the top that it's kind of amazing that he did what he did, which is why I think, during the season, I was kind of not the biggest fan because he was just so overbearing. He kind of reminded me a little bit of Russell Hansen, like kind of the just overbearing, maybe a little bit of a bully way, but kind of after the fact, having rewatched the season, it was kind of really impressive to see him from start to finish just completely own everyone on the island there, where I think definitely one of the most dominant games probably ever played.
Yeah, I loved watching him. He was one of my favorite players of all time. The whole Spy Shack thing was wonderful. And I loved watching him play. He was full on 100% of the time. I mean, I think in our 3-hour interview with him, didn't he say like never slept? He literally never slept.
He probably didn't.
Right.
No, I think he said he might have been out for like 30 minutes or an hour every night, but he was always up, always knowing what was going on around camp. And I think he'll still do that, So,
well, the thing with Tony is he really has, even if he tried to hide, there'd be no point because people know how he plays. So I think if I were him, I would just be like, I'm going to play the same way I did last time, or at least go balls to the wall a second time. And like, they're going to expect it anyway. So why not play into that and see how far I can go?
Yeah.
I think one thing that we liked about him so much was he was like second to last pick in our draft. And I got him because it was him or like two other people. I mean, he was way down and he laughed his head off at us, knowing obviously what the result was going to be. But he was neither Dwaine or I had him very high on our list. And he ended up playing what I thought was a really good game for that season, which is why I'm just so interested to see what he's going to do, in this next season to try and get to the end.
Who do you think he's going to get along with in the Mana tribe? I think it's Mana or Mana. Or according to Ryan, it's probably Mina.
That's not how that works. I could see, let me think here's on the tribe there. I would see, really, he and Sandra really should work together. I don't think they will, because I think they both will think that they need to get the other person out, when really the winners, especially those two winners, should really be allies versus enemies, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I was wondering about how they put the winners together. And do you think they put Tony on Sandra's tribe so Sandra wouldn't be the obvious biggest target for them to make a default pick? I wonder if that's why they did that, because JT's on the other tribe, but there's no other winner, right? There's only 3 winners this season.
Right.
Yeah, but Sandra's won twice. So
yeah,
the Mana tribe has 3 season winners, and the Nuku tribe only has 1.
Right, and to me, she would be like, you know what, we shouldn't have lost that challenge. We all played hard, but you know what? Let's go ahead and get rid of Sandra because she's a very smart player. She's won twice. But with Tony there, to me, it makes her not the obvious pick. She could be allowed to stay around for a while since she's not the strongest in challenges, although you still don't want to keep somebody that smart in the game.
Yeah, but what do they always do? They never kick off the smartest people first. There's always somebody else that has annoyed them to death, or that was a pain in the butt when they were doing the shelter, or did horrible in the thing, and all the we need to get Sandra out first, or we need to get Tony out first, goes out the door.
See, I agree, and that's why I don't really go too deeply into like pre-game, preseason stuff with returning player seasons, because it's such a crapshoot where I think with Dalton Ross posting their like pre-game votes to who they would vote out first, I think Tony ended up getting the most votes out of that, but I don't really see Tony as the first to go. I think once they get to the beach, all bets are off, all things change, and it becomes who's the weak link or who's not fitting into that tribe, where I think Tony and Sandra, having been winners, I mean, they've proven to be able to integrate themselves into a tribe way better than the average person, which I think is going to be the case here. I don't expect them to be the first boot, even though there's a lot of speculation. I mean, I went into second chances. Everyone is talking about, we got to get rid of Cass. Cass will be the first boot. She made the merge. So, I mean, there's no guarantee that who they're saying they're going to get out now is going to be the person they actually end up voting for the first night.
And for what you just said is why I didn't do any pregame digging and studying other than this document that I showed you guys. And now we've lost 20 more listeners. But anyway, I didn't want to, because a lot of it's baloney. And that's what I wrote on my Facebook post, that they're saying what they think the cameras want to hear. They're going to show us what they want us to hear. And you look at this tribe, who's annoying on this Mana tribe. And to me, there's not really anybody. The one person that could be picked off first is Michaela, because nobody knows her. She's walking in, and last time you let some guy come back, it was Russell, who did pretty well. You let Malcolm come back, and he did pretty well. So you look at these names on here, and nobody to me really stands out as possibly annoying. So they could go after, who's a challenge threat. Malcolm could be a target. He's smart. He's got challenge stuff on there. He's good in most everything. And just like Michaela, we don't know Michaela. So maybe the winners aren't the obvious choices. But at the same time, to me, the biggest thing in all of this is still with returning players is pregame conversations.
And see, if players were smart, I think they would want to keep the players like Sandra and Tony, because they know that they're always going to have a target on their back, where like the Haley, the Sierra, they're going to fly to the radar, where you really want to be taking out those people early, knowing that Tony and Sandra can be taken out anytime, especially Sandra, because she's not going to be a challenge person. She's not going to be winning a lot of immunities, where she only becomes a threat at the very last day, where if she's at final tribal council, she probably wins because she made it there again, but you're going to have every single tribal council to vote her out.
Yeah.
Right.
And Tony in that sense too, but I think he's probably a bigger threat. Well, they'll probably target him a lot sooner than Sandra. But like I said, I still don't think that Tony is as a dead man walking as the majority of the fan base probably thinks he is.
I mean, especially, at the beginning of the season, always, you don't get rid of the big guys because you need them for challenges. You want to win those challenges. You know?
Now, if he comes out there and goes running through the woods and doing all this crazy stuff on his own, then yeah, he could be targeted. Just to flush an idol if you think he has
he's going
one.
to run around like a crazy man. He is.
Well, we'll see.
I guarantee you, Tony did not go back to play Survivor to be anti-Tony. He is going to be Tony.
I think he's going to play a similar way, and I don't think he'll make it as far, but I think he'll leave a big mark on the game as long as he's in it.
Yep. All right, whose team is Tony on?
So I actually made up these little cool votes, put them in an urn,
Oh,
to make it really official. So Tony, actually I got this one right. Tony is on David's team.
Oh, it's like random while we're doing the show. I love it.
Yeah.
I told you he had a good idea.
Lied to me at the beginning of the episode. You got to stop doing that.
No, it's not random. Oh, well, I'll pretend it's random if that's what you prefer. I'll say
It's not random.
It's totally random, Dwayne. I changed my mind and just made a new list right here and now.
I love it. Dwayne just got blindsided.
I thought you had 10 Dwaine envelopes and 10 David envelopes, and you just went in and grabbed one randomly, and it was David's.
Maybe that's what I did.
Oh, Ryan, you're annoying the heck out of me. All right.
I love Ryan. He's coming back every week, folks. Just
Nope. All right, Ryan, who's the next person we're talking about?
We're going to go with Jeff Varner, all the way from...
Ooh, I love Jeff. You know what's weird about some of these people is I know them, like Tony.
It's like you've seen him before.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's not what I mean. So like Tony, we've talked to Tony on the phone. We've talked to him on our podcast, and, we kind of got to know him a little well. Jeff, man, I love Jeff. Jeff's been on I've called Jeff, and in fact, well, I'm not going to tell you that, but anyway, Jeff's a great guy. I like Jeff.
He's trying to tip himself out like, oh, I'm buddies with Jeff Varner.
No, that's not what I did, Ryan. And I think Jeff's going to do really well in this tribe. And
I think Jeff Varner is finally going to make the jury. That's my prediction.
Yeah. What do you think, David?
I hope so. Jeff is on my list of 10 people I want to see because I think he really shot himself in the foot this past season when he played on was it Cambodia he played?
Cambodia, yeah.
Yeah, Cambodia, sorry. And now I'm looking at my list. I think he walked out of that game saying, I bluffed too soon, or I just made my move too soon, and he got called out for it, and he just went out too quick. I can't wait to see him come back and play what I think is going to be a slightly different game. And I agree. I think he's one that can go farther because he's looking at his tribe. There are a lot of targets on there, and he may not be one of them. He hasn't made a jury yet, so he may not be the target that could go that far. And I agree. I think he's going to at least make the merge this time.
The thing he's got going against him, though, is I think Game Changers was filmed like 6 or 7 months after the finale of Cambodia. So they're gonna the thought of Jeff Varner, the kind of like crazy, high intensity player, could still be fresh in their minds. So that could make him a little bit of a target, but I think he, more than anyone else, probably learned from his last time and is going to like draw it way back in and tone it back down and kind of like just focus on building relationships so much more than, just making strategic moves all the time.
I agree. They could see him as somebody that wants to be loyal, that wants to get into a group and lock in because he didn't last time.
Right.
I think one of the things about Jeff is the first season he played was a totally different way of playing Survivor than Cambodia was. And I feel like he's going to come back like he was towards the end of Cambodia, where he got the hang of it and he figured out, okay, this is how they're playing this game. And I think that is going to really help him. In fact, really knowing both ways, I think is going to help him because he's going to be able to relate to both sides of the coin of how you play Survivor. Mm-hmm. So I really think it's going to help him a lot.
I think, Australia was kind of like this end of the spectrum. He came into Cambodia at this end trying to match like, the way the game had evolved. But I think now he's going to try to find that like sweet spot in the middle. I think he'll do well. I think I predicted to make at least the merge. And probably at that point, I could see him then maybe getting a little bit, all right, now I'm in the groove, maybe kind of get a little bit too confident at that point and then start to spiral out of control again. I hope he doesn't, but I'm kind of seeing him as a potential early jury member this season.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Anything else about Jeff? I think he's going to give us a lot of laughs. He's definitely going to get confessionals. I hope he's on my team.
It's funny if had you told me like 2 years ago before Second Chances that's like Jeff Varner would be on season 31 and 34, I'd have been like, oh, no, he's not. Like who would go back to that far and bring him back? And now he's back twice. So I'm
Right.
excited to see him. He's one of the early all-stars survivors to me.
Yeah. But, as far as our D&D challenge goes, I think he's going to be a big point getter.
Mhm.
So
I do too.
I like him, and I hope he's on my team.
Let's find out. And Jeff is on your team, Dwayne.
Yay.
I said, are these names going to rotate? Is that kind of going to give it away before you find out?
No,
Are they-
it's not like
okay.
back and forth. And there's only two of you, so it can't be perfectly totally mixed up. But it's not AB.
Oh,
worry.
man. All right, David. Ryan, who's our third person to talk about?
Sierra. Which one? Easton. Blood versus Water and Second Chances.
Sierra.
She voted out her
East.
mom. That's what she's famous for.
Do what? Oh, yeah, she voted out her mom. That's right.
So
Claim to fame.
her claim to fame for coming out for this season was from the season before she played last season, telling me what she did this past season. I think she's a nice person. She's not on my list of 10 people I want to see play again this time. But I think she could do well. She's one of those that I think could slide through as with all these other targets around. I don't know. To me, she's in the middle of the pack. I think she's too smart to be taken far. I think they know that about her, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think she'd be an early boot with all these other targets.
I don't know, because I think I'm kind of the opposite, where I think she will be gone relatively early, if not like the first or second person out, just because she's known to be a really big strategic threat while she doesn't really have a lot to offer physically. So really, she almost has, I think, everything working against her, similar in a way like Sandra does, where she's not strategic, or she's not physically great, but she's really strategically great. But I think Sandra has a much stronger social game than Sierra, where I feel like Sierra may not be able to overcome her weaknesses because she doesn't have as strong of a social game as other players do. So I'm thinking Sierra may not be as successful this time as she's been in the past, but who knows?
See, I say Sierra on this tribe, and Sandra's stronger than her. Sandra's going to be a bigger threat than her. Michaela's going to be, a stronger personality than she is. Haley, I'm not sure about. And then Aubrey, I think, is also going to be a larger personality than Sierra. So as far as the D&D challenge point system goes, I think she's a bad person to have on your team. But honestly, I don't even know if she's going to be fun to watch, but I guess we'll just have to see, because you never know what might happen. Her and Haley may become best buds, and Troy Zan gets in there with them, and who knows? So you don't really know.
She was definitely a major player in Blood versus Water, relatively large in the second time around, when she kind of, encouraged people to make the big moves, was her go-to term. But I think this time around she might kind of fizzle out earlier than she'd like to.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
So
which side is she on?
Sierra A or Sierra E, however you want to call her. She is on Dwayne's team.
Crap.
So, you're welcome, Dwayne, for that.
Thanks for mixing it up. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, we have Aubrey.
Okay.
From Survivor Go Wrong.
Aubrey. Oh, I like Aubrey. Aubrey's awesome. I think Aubrey is going to come, Aubrey's going to be that, I'm out of my shell now, and I am ready to play. That's what I think about Aubrey.
I think Aubrey, the way that season ended, I think may not work in Aubrey's favor. Because a lot of people say, she should have been the winner, this, that, and the other. I'm a firm believer in the winner is the person that gets the most votes. That's I believe is how it should work, and that's how it does work. However, Aubrey came out of that season from her edit looking, I thought, pretty strong, whether in challenges or especially in the game. So I think that's probably going to hurt her more than I don't know. In this type of season, I think her edit is probably going to hurt her.
Yeah, I'm with Dave. I was a big fan of Michelle, and I was happy that Michelle won, but Aubrey definitely kind of got one of those best to never win type of edits and being so fresh before this season filmed. I think it was like a month after Go Wrong ended. they were flying out to Fiji to play Game Changers, to where basically everyone's basically going to see Aubrey as essentially a winner. I mean, as far as level of gameplay and success she had in the game, where that's why I think, she being on Sandra's tribe may also, hurt her too, because she's going to be kind of seen as equally as a threat as Sandra, where I think Sandra may have the smoother social skills to dance around that first boot. Well, I think Aubrey could be in major danger.
Sandra also has, and I don't know if it's Sandra or Sandra. I thought it was Sandra, but it could be Sandra. She also has history with a lot of, she also has history with a lot of these people. Sandra goes to some of these events. She's known a lot of these players for a long time. She's been around since Pearl Island. So, Aubrey's new to the community. She may be close to a lot of people, but there could be something into the history of relationships here. I mean, this is a big community now. It's almost 500 people, but I don't know. I just think a lot of outside the game stuff is going to affect inside the game stuff.
Yeah, I think they're going to have, for that reason too. I think just also her gameplay is going to be a lot. People are going to have a hard time trusting Aubrey to remain loyal, at least long term. They might see her as someone who they can get with early on in the game, but she's not going to be a number one ally all the way to the end, just because of what she's kind of known to be a great player.
You also never really know who's called each other ahead of time. I was talking to one of them before the season, and I said, I heard this about the episode. And they were like, who told you that? Where did you hear that? And who can I call? I was like, I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you that. So, there's all kinds of stuff going on ahead of time, kind of figuring out, I heard you may be on the season. You want to, but I wonder if all that kind of goes out the door when you get on the beach. I don't know. I guess it kind of depends.
Well, it's hard to say, because obviously anything like that wouldn't be put into the show, so you never really know if that does play a role or not. I'm sure it does. We just never see it, nor will we ever see it.
Right. Well, we may hear about it afterwards.
So, do you think Aubrey would be good to have on your team or not have on your team?
For me, I think she'd be like a medium to, as far as point system goes, like on the underside of medium points for the season.
Yeah, I think we're the same in that regard.
So you guys want her on your team or not want her on your team?
She would be one of my lower people on my team if I was picking a team, which I'm not.
If I was picking a team, I probably wouldn't, but she is somebody I want to see play again.
All right, Aubrey is joining David's team.
We'll take her.
You have Aubrey. I'm really sorry that you have Aubrey. All right.
Moving on. Halfway through the season, I'll be playing that clip if it comes back to bite him.
4 out of 8. We're almost there. All right. Next we got one of my personal favorites, longtime favorites, and also one of the best to ever win is Suri. Not Sierra, but Suri. To be clear on that. Actually, what would be really funny if the final tribal was like Sierra 1 versus Sierra 2 versus Suri, and it was just kind of a madhouse of who's voting for who.
Yeah,
it's all in the spelling.
I can't say everything I want about Sierra. About Siri, because we haven't announced who our favorites are, and so that's why I wanted to do it at the beginning. But
that's why I thought we were doing it as we went, because it kind of affected what we said.
Yeah, well,
If she's one of your favorites, Dwaine, you can say she is.
No, I'm not going to say either way. Y'all will find out whenever we announce our teams, or our favorites. So, I guess I am going to have to, because I can't talk about her if I don't. I do not like watching Siri.
Oh, what?
Play.
Siri.
I don't. I really don't.
I've heard that before. I know she's not everyone's favorite, but I don't know. I've always liked her.
I like her, and I like watching her because she's not the cookie cutter Survivor player. She's different, and I think even this season, as well as she's played, as good a game as she has socially, I think she could still do well this season with all those big rocks out there and all the players that are there before.
And it's been long enough since the last time she played. When she came back for Heroes versus Villains, it was like a year after Micronesia, where she dominated that game really well and played really well there. Where I think she's almost seeing like in Heroes versus Villains, kind of like an Aubrey, where she went into the game not having won, but pretty much seen as the equivalent of a winner just because of a strong player she was. Well, now it's been, 7 or 8 years where I don't think she's going to be as fresh in people's minds. They're going to see her more as like, oh, they're going to remember more of like the early days of Cerie as like this, the sweet lady who, got off the couch and impressed America with the way she played. I think they're going to kind of forget the fact that she's can be very cutthroat. She's very good at the game. And I think Cerie's going to go very, very far, if not win this game.
Really?
I really hope that this is her 4th time playing. It'd be nice to kind of finally see Cerie, get her much deserved win.
Okay. You think she deserves a win? Why would
I do, Dwaine?
How does anybody deserve a win? If you don't earn the win, you don't deserve the win.
Granted, I mean, no, she hasn't. I haven't seen her play this season. Yes, I don't know if her game this season, is warranting of. But I think had she made the finals in Exile Island or in Micronesia, I would have definitely supported her winning there.
Okay, I understand the argument of they deserve a win, but I think if you didn't win, you don't deserve it.
I know. I'm not saying the people that she lost to didn't deserve to be here. I'm just saying it'd be nice to see Cerie finally get something that she's worked for.
Yeah.
You just really hate Cerie, don't you, man?
No, I don't hate Cerie at all. I would like, anyway, forget it. So we'll see how she plays. She's kind of one of those players that she's so mama-like that you're like, what? You're not going to play hard. And then she plays hard.
She also has that weapon that not everybody knows how to use, and that's a smile. And I think it's very disarming. And I think that's absolutely in her favor.
What, you don't think Michaela has that smile?
Everybody has a smile
once.
Yeah, everybody has a smile, but it's how you use it. And you look at all of Cerie's pictures from all of her seasons.
Yeah, she's always smiling.
She's just leaning back, looking at you like, you're so funny, and just smiling at you, and that's very disarming.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch how she plays, to kind of see how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be good. And looking at her tribe, who do you think she might click with right away? That's where I'm kind of wondering.
I think I heard Andrea mention that she really wanted to work with Cerie. I could see Cerie kind of rounding up the people who really aren't like the strategically savvy, like the Debbie or the Ty, and really kind of, become another puppet master of the people who aren't really going to being the ones who make the big moves, where I think Cerie's going to kind of just herd people in and steer them in the direction that she wants to go.
Yeah, she could definitely control Ty.
Mm-hmm. And he's someone who's going to gravitate towards someone who's got that smile, like that, perceived big heart, where I think he'll be an easy get for her.
Yeah. You want to give Ty a coconut early enough in the game, so you were the first one to give him a coconut, so he will feel obligated to help you win.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Whose team was randomly put on our teams? Whose team is?
I kind of feel bad.
Cerie?
Well, no, I don't feel bad now. It's kind of been more of a spiteful thing now, but she is on your team, Dwaine. So.
All right. She's going to get me some points. She
is. So be thankful. What if she could win, and then you could be like, eat and crow because you didn't want her on your team.
No, I never said I didn't want her on my team.
Well, you didn't want her to win.
I didn't say I didn't want her to win either. I just said I don't think anybody's a deserving winner unless they win. That's all I said.
Fine.
I'm glad she's on my team. She's going to get me some points.
You're a Cerie hater. It's okay.
Okay, whatever. All right, next.
You're gonna hate.
Who's the next person?
Is the other Sierra from Worlds Apart. I'd show a picture, but it was really hard to find even Googling her name.
No, it was not. No way. I could show you her Instagram feed and you'll get tons of pictures. Oh, man. Yeah, Sierra's all over the place. Well, I think Sierra's going to be fun to watch. Absolutely fun to watch. What do y'all think her strategy is going to be? How do you think she's going to approach the game?
All Sierra has to do is just roll with the punt, like kind of just go with the flow, just be social, and like no one is going to go after Sierra.
No.
Between her and Haley, the other person from Worlds Apart, I just don't see, like, of the 20 names, they're 19 and 20 as far as I think threat level goes, to where unless they get into the point where like they maybe swap and get screwed by like a numbers advantage or like just, are separated from their allies, I think both are going to go really far. Potentially even one or both making it both the finale or the final tribal council.
Yeah, I like Sri Dawn. I think she's going to play an extremely similar game to what she did in Worlds Apart, except I think she's going to try and have a little more say in the vote.
Yeah, I mean,
Whether
she
it's
played
whether
well in the fact that she played a really strong social game. I think everyone
Yeah.
unanimously liked Sierra, have after that season ended. And I just think her downfall there was not making, which is ironic that she's, called a game changer. I don't think she was a bad player. I just wouldn't call her a game changer, where I think she had a couple opportunities in Worlds Apart to flip the game, to make the game her own, and she just kind of backed off and let the game, control her versus the other way around. Where I think hopefully if she learns from that, having played that way the first time, I think she could come back and have a little more fire in her, desire to be the one calling the shots versus just being told what to do.
Yeah, but no matter how she plays, she's going to be very well liked.
I think so.
It's going to help her a lot.
I think it works in her advantage that, like you mentioned with her and Hallie, that not only are they two that may not be looked at as serious threats early on and that may help them get through the early parts, they're also linked by the season they played together.
Yeah.
Whether they weren't on the same tribe to start with, but they finished on the same tribe.
Yeah.
And the merge tribe. So they've got that link going as well. So I think that's an interesting pairing.
Yep. And, talking about her maybe not being a game changer, she was pretty much a really last minute addition to the cast.
Right. Yeah. Like my thing with most of this cast, I wouldn't call them all game changers. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, I don't really disagree with most of these people coming back to play a second time. I think there's a lot of people I would like to see. It's just that title that kind of bugs me. And I think if they called it, anything else or anything that was made a little more like neutral as far as the spectrum of players they have, I think it would have been would have gotten a lot less criticism as far as the whole game changer thing. It just puts this label on people, or this expectation that's set where you remove that, I think you have like a great cast. It's just the name on it kind of makes it sound like they didn't quite hit the mark, or pick the people that really truly changed.
Lately, that's been happening a lot.
Well, when you have like returning player seasons like every other season now, I mean, it's hard. They're going to run out of names. You can't just call it All Stars 4. I mean, that's not very advertisable.
Just call it another returning player season.
Yeah.
As far as challenge points go, I'm not sure she's going to get a lot of challenge points for whoever has her on their team.
Well, I looked last season, and I think the people who the trend kind of tended to be the people who made the top 10 were, for the most part, the top 10 scorers overall.
Yeah.
There's a couple outliers like Sunday and Will. I don't think they scored as much as maybe like a Taylor did, but I think if Sierra goes far enough, she could potentially be someone who at least a top 10 scorer. So
well, there you go. If that's true, I hadn't checked that, but if you check that, and the top 10 score getters were generally the top 10 in the game, then because I think she'll make the top 10. So I guess she might be.
I worry that she finishes like in Karamoan when Sherry Beethman, how she was final 3, but kind of fell off the table right towards the end of the season. It came down to Dawn and Cochran. They just did 99% of all the confessionals, and she made it to the end. But it's like we only knew that because she was sitting there, and they asked her 1 or 2 questions. But that's what I would. It really depends on who she sits with. If she's sitting with Hallie and Debbie, then I think she's going to be a top 10 point getter. But if she's sitting with like Sari or Varner or somebody that does a lot more talking.
Looking at this tribe, looking at this tribe, I see Sierra.
No, she can't.
Andrea and Siri hitting it off, and then Debbie and Sarah not particularly part of that little group, is what it looks like to me. So, as far as which ladies are going to have the most in common or sit around together more.
Yeah.
So anyway, whose team is Sierra on?
Sierra is going to be
I predict David's
team.
I knew it.
I'm not going back and forth.
I didn't say you were.
Oh, you kind of implied it.
All right. Who's the next player?
Next up is Haley. So kind of the other Sierra.
The other half of that.
Yeah, I don't think Haley's going to be a big point getter in the challenge.
Her and Sierra are kind of like interchangeable. I think one will go early, and maybe like they said, like the victim of a swap situation where she just doesn't land on the right tribe with her allies. And I think the other one's going to go very far. I actually, my preseason boot list, I guess, I actually had Haley going, I think the final 3 actually, and then Sierra being the one to kind of fall out a little before the merge. But I could easily see it being the other way around.
So you think she and Sierra are the same type of players? Is that what
I
you
wouldn't
said?
say they're the same type of players. I just see they fit the same role as no one's going to be targeting them. They both have relatively decent social games. Sierra might be a little bit stronger socially, I think.
That's what I'm thinking.
They're really not going to be voted out, I think, by making a huge move or big mistake. I think it's going to be a matter of, like, if they get voted out, just kind of because they just are on the wrong side of the numbers.
Yeah. I also feel like Haley's more of a follower, and I think Sierra could be more of a people following her. Haley just seems so quiet and laid back, and just
that wasn't the case. So I think, at one point, I know Sierra, when Lindsay was voted out, Sierra had this great opportunity to flip and make this big move against people that just betrayed her, or let her out of the boat, and she didn't. So I think there's a chance for Sierra to fall within that same line again. I don't think she will, just because I think, having played the way the last time, I don't think she'll play the same way this time. But I don't really know if they have. I don't think either has what it takes to be like the ringleader. I just think that they might do better than they did last time.
I can see her being third in the final tribal council. I agree that if one of them's going to fall, it will probably be Sierra. Yeah, I could see Haley going farther than Sierra Dawn. But I was talking to Andy Baker, and I'll give him props for it. He said, "Hey, this is the season that one of those quiet people, could slip through and get to the end. What they do at the end is going to be how they played the game. But this is the type of season. This is the season that works for those type of players, where one of them could slip to the end, and Haley could be one of those people."
Yeah, I mean, Haley reminds me of almost a lot of Amber, where I think if she's in the end with the person that or people the jury does not like, I think she's someone who would be an easy vote-cater. She's up against like a Brad or a Caleb, or just someone that like no one's really a huge fan of, or someone that doesn't really play the game super well or strongly at all. Yeah, but I wouldn't count either out. I mean, it'd just be kind of a stealthy win, I think, if either Haley or Sierra take it home.
Yeah, I agree with both of you that I think Haley could go far, and I agree with Dwaine that she may not be a high point getter for this season. But I guess we'll find out at the end of the season. Great.
All right, let's see.
You ready, Dwaine, to see?
Haley. Whatever. All right, Haley will be joining Dwaine.
Crud. I don't think she's going to be a good point getter. That's very disappointing.
That's funny that we split Haley and Sierra.
I would have rather had Sierra than Haley.
It's like it was planned that way.
Do what? Do what?
I said like you gave him the one that's going to go farther.
How it worked out that way.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. All right, who's next?
Next up, we've got Troyzan.
Ooh, Troyzan. See, now this is one of those deals where David and I got to spend a lot of time with Troyzan at the Durham Warriors Challenge. And my goodness, he's just so fun to be around. Incredibly competitive. In fact, David had the better of him on one challenge. And but he is just remember that, David?
That didn't work out too well in the long run.
No, not the long run, but I mean, that's just now that actually being around him personally, he is just, they're going to love Troy. They're not going to vote Troyzan off. He's going to be too much fun to have around in camp, and he's going to kick butt in challenges. At that Durham Warrior Challenge, he was like a strong part of the challenges. You know,
he was a beast from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I just really
didn't he like win like 3 or 4? I know Spencer was like, I think Spencer's the reigning champ as far as 4 wins, but Troyzan was probably close.
That was their plan, was to get rid of him as soon as they had the numbers, but as soon as he lost. He was the next to go.
And he was blindsided too. He didn't know it was coming. Troyzan
gets along, I think, with anybody, but I think the mixed gender tribes this time is going to actually work in his favor. He's just like Dwaine said, he's extremely likable, very easy to talk to, and so he's so talkative. He'll talk to you about anything. Just somebody you don't mind sitting down and talking to. And I think being mixed up this time instead of being like one world style, I think being mixed up is going to play in his favor.
Yeah, I think so too. I think One World was so much Kim's game, where Troyzan, especially when he hit the merge, he just had no chance. He was constantly fighting from the bottom because she just had the game on lockdown. And I think I really wasn't like, I I was a big Kim fan, so I was like, rooting against anyone who didn't want her to win. Troyzan was a big supporter of voting out Kim. But kind of having, watched him in the Durham Warriors challenge, I think he's finally kind of maybe like loosened up a little bit, where he's not as so. But in one world, he became like visibly frustrated with where it was at in the game, which I can understand. But I think he's winning this game seems like a lot more jovial, a lot more lighthearted. We know he can kick butt in challenges. Where I think Troyzan is going. I think he got what he finished like in, I want to say 8th or 9th last time in one world. I think he'll definitely beat that. Potentially, he could win his way very far into the game and potentially win it all.
He got 8th. Yeah, he. If I was him in one world, I would have started every confessional with, "I'm on a tribe that volunteered to go to tribal council." I'm on a tribe that volunteered. That would frustrate me to no end, to be however many days I am out there, that I was on a tribe that volunteered to go to tribal council. I just couldn't comprehend that. But yeah, I'm with Dwaine in that I love Troyzan. I'm a huge Troyzan fan.
Yeah. I want him on my team big time.
No, he's on mine.
Big
on my
point
team.
getter.
No, my team.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to be on your team.
Let's see. Was I nice to David? I was.
He was.
Yep, saw that coming.
Well, I could not give David Troyzan.
No, I don't think you did it on purpose. I'm just saying I saw it coming. I don't think you did any of it on purpose.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I meant like I randomly drew him onto be David's team.
Oh, yeah. All right. Who's next, Sir Ryan?
Next, we've got Brad Culpepper.
Oh, boy, that should be fun. I'll just let y'all have your little fun talking about
so
Brad.
what team is he? Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, is Dwaine a big Brad fan?
Well,
no. Oh, that was really funny.
If Brad and Suri were the final two, who would you vote for?
Suri, most definitely.
Oh, wow. Be a really nasty fan of his then.
No, again, you misunderstood me about Suri. That's all right. All right. What do y'all want to talk about Brad about?
Sure.
Well, I'll just go ahead and say I don't think anybody's going to be able to relate to Brad at all. I think he's going to be, he's going to be that one that's kind of, he'll be in the mix of everybody because he's that kind of guy, but everybody's going to be like, okay, he's here, but we kind of could do without him or whatever.
I'm going to agree with Dwaine and just say a little bit different in that I think he's going to play the same way he did the first time.
I actually, watching his interviews so far, I think he's actually seems a little more laid back, a little more chill, maybe even humbled by the first experience, where I think he'll end up being voted out for the same reason, but I think he might last a little bit longer. I think he can make the merge this time. I'm just hoping he talks in the third person all the time, like Mom. I'm playing this game for Brad.
Dwaine does not want to watch Brad
to win.
Yes.
That's great.
Wow. All right. Anything else about Brad?
No, it sounds like you have a laundry list, but maybe we can move on. So let's see whose team Brad ends up on. I didn't know you hated him, so sorry, Dwaine. He's on yours.
Yep.
I think he can get some points. I think he could, like I said, I could see him making the merge.
Yeah, I don't see him.
If he makes the merge, he's a threat in challenges, absolutely. But
what if him winning Dwaine makes you win the D&D challenge? Would that be worth it?
He's not going to win. If he gets more than 50 points the whole season, I will be surprised. And as soon as that merge comes, that boy's gone. So, all right, who's next?
Next, we've got Ty.
I'm sorry, what?
Ty.
I was coughing. Oh, Ty.
Tie-dye.
Yeah, Ty is the most easily manipulated player in this season.
Yeah. But I think that'll actually work in his favor here. I don't think, not so to the level of Haley and Sierra, but I don't think people are going to be gunning for Ty.
Right.
They're going to be gunning to use Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Ty is just, oh my gosh.
I mean, he's so sweet and innocent, but that's who, you take advantage of him.
He's going to be like, Brad, let me hang on your leg. Brad, carry me on your shoulders. Brad. JT, Ozzy.
Well,
I can climb.
he's not on Caleb's tribe, right? Ty's on.
No, they're on different tribes.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
separate them. Yeah.
Who can climb higher in a tree, Ozzy or Ty? That will be the big
my money's
question.
probably still on Ozzy there.
That's still
Ozzy.
Ozzy. Yeah.
Just saying. I don't know. Ty's, he's
I don't remember Ozzy leaving skin on the tree.
well. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, Ozzy's also like 15 years younger.
Yeah, that is true. Ty's like so. Oh my gosh! And
Not
he'll
that age
probably
matters
find a
at all.
chicken. And
I mean,
what do you think his pet will be this time?
I'm hoping he finds like a nice little like scorpion or something like that to call his own. That'd be
Yeah, there you go.
Spike the scorpion or something. No, hopefully he finds some animal to keep him company and not eat during the whole game.
Right. So as far as the challenge goes, I would love to have him on my team. I'm not going to, but I would love to have Ty on my team.
Why don't you think he's on your team?
No, I don't know. I'm just guessing because I haven't had any luck with my team yet.
Oh, well.
So just the way things are going.
So wait, so you're complaining that you haven't had the right luck, yet you wanted me to pick completely randomly.
No,
but
I'm not
it's totally
complaining
on
at all. I'm just having fun with my team. So Ty,
I just don't think you're ever happy, Dwayne. Nothing pleases you.
all right, go ahead, David.
All right.
I'll go ahead. Have fun at my expense. Go ahead.
We'll do.
All right. Who gets Ty?
Ty.
I don't really have much. Yeah. I think he's going to have more confessionals in the first 3 episodes than the whole season.
I think Ty is going to be one of those people who comes back and you kind of forget how he played the first time because he kind of just goes on the radar the second time.
Do you think anybody that finishes the way he did is kind of seen that way? That you know what, he finished so badly. Which was the opposite of Arbery. Arbery came out looking like a winner. Ty came out looking like really, he didn't get any votes or shouldn't get any votes. So he's going to be underplayed or underrated this season.
I think he'll be underrated. Yeah, I mean, I think he won't be a target. I don't think at all. But I think he could probably maybe have a little bit less airtime too, depending on how. And to go wrong, he was like in that major player position like throughout the entire game, having the idols, kind of being in between the two alliances. Where this time, if he's just like another member of an alliance, I don't think we might hear from Ty as much because he's not going to be one of like the driving strategic forces of the game.
See, the thing about Ty is he's not going to be anybody's target because you can beat Ty. So he's not going to be a target. He's going to be, since he's easily manipulated, you want him on your side and then you want to keep him. And so I think he's going to go really far in the game. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he's going to go really far in the game.
My prediction is Ty actually getting to the end and losing again. That's
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow.
I could see him kind of being like an Amanda where he gets to the end twice and just can't steal or didn't play the game the way the jury would want him to win.
Which is, I think he's going to have a very similar season, whereas the first half of the season, we only saw Ty because of Caleb and because of idols. And with all these idol hunters on this season, I don't know, he could get lost in the first part of the season, but I could see him floating towards the end.
Yep. So as far as whose team he's on, he goes to Dwaine. So there you go, buddy.
Awesome. My luck is changing. Well, let's see. No, I've got one. I got 2 people I like for the challenge anyway. Not as far as do I like them as players. I got 2 out of my 6 so far.
Oh, there you go. Good odds. All right, next up, we've got Michaela from Millennials versus Gen X, that season that was filmed so long ago.
I think Miss Michaela is a good player. I think she I think she knows when to be quiet. She knows when to say something. She knows when to be sassy. She knows when to how to manipulate the other people that she's around. I think people will like being around her, and I think she's going to go far in the game. And I also think she's going to be fun to watch.
I think she could be a potential like female challenge beast too, kind of like a Wigglesworth or a Wentworth, where
absolutely
athletic. She's probably really strong in puzzles. We don't get to see too much of her in the first time around, but yeah, I think she's going to have this advantage of going to the game where no one really knows how big of a threat she is, and they're not going to assume she's like this like Russell Hantz type. They're going to assume she's kind of just like that athletic, probably almost hero type player versus like a villain, where I think they could maybe see Zeke potentially as being like the strategic force villain type, where they'll probably assume Michaela's more of the laid back, can do no wrong hero player, where I think she's going to go pretty far. If not, I could actually see Michaela potentially winning this.
I think Michaela is one of those people that's going to be smart enough to say, you know what, I have to guard what I say at certain times, but to the camera, I'm going to be Michaela, true and true. I think when they see her in challenges, I think they're going to say, wow, we need to keep this strong female until we get further into the game. But if I'm also Michaela, I'm honest, and I say I got knocked out pre-merge by a bunch of guys. I didn't even make the merge.
I don't know the ruling on that, but I thought I maybe read somewhere that they can't confirm how well or not well they did.
Well, they were told either Russell or Malcolm. They were told.
Yeah, I know. I think
they were given a generic,
so the
a
players
generic
know,
sense of who they were. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that. I think Jeff told the players in the season that Zeke and Michaela did not win, but they did enough to come back and earn the title of the Game Changers. That's really, so they can assume they did probably. They'll probably assume Michaela did better than she actually did. But yeah, I don't know if they can actually, if she can admit that she was a pre-merge boot. If she can, then she's even more golden. But I think either way, she'll probably do pretty well.
Yeah. If she can get it out, I think she could do well.
She's confessional gold. I mean, she can turn a phrase, and it's just awesome. I love watching Michaela.
Yeah, and Probst really hyped her up during the entire last season. So I think she either might do well, or she'll be like a big character for as long as she lasts. Hopefully, I like to see her last a lot longer, because we only got through, half the season with her, where I felt like she just totally cut short. Hopefully, she sticks around for majority of the game. I think she'll be in the finale, one way or the other. Whether she's,
I think because of her challenge prowess and because of what Dwaine just said about it being her confessional gold, if she doesn't make the merge, she'll be back in 2 seasons.
Yeah, she might become the new Varner, just trying to get him back until.
Yeah,
that's right.
What time's it, John? I'm sure she's on David's team because I had won her so badly. But tell me, is my luck bad or good?
Oh, I'm really sorry, Dwaine, but I have to prove you wrong. Here we go.
Yay!
I got Michaela.
Oh, I'm so happy, so very happy. I have Michaela on my team.
So can we do trades by the end?
By the way,
I don't know.
I have
your guys' rules. I don't know.
I have been neglecting the chat room, and I apologize to y'all people.
Yeah, way to go,
Specifically, Patricia has said several things. When we were talking about Sierra, she said Sierra is a goat, which I don't agree with that at all. Do either one of y'all
like greatest of all time, or goat like?
No, like goat where you take her to you take her to the end. Like Ty's a goat.
I was making a joke.
Do either one of y'all think she's a goat? I don't.
Well, depending on how she plays, she could be, but I don't.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, she's not in the chat room anymore. I would have liked to.
A lot of potential that we didn't get to see. Well, we saw she didn't really pull it out. I think she's got a lot of potential to be a good player. I just don't know whether or not she'll be able to seal the deal.
Yeah.
See, when you were talking about different titles for the season, that was my title thought, was potentially good players. But of course, there's a mix of different seasons. There's too many people.
Yeah, I mean, you got like Tony and Sander. They're potentially good players. I mean,
Survivor.
They could be.
They've only won
potentially good players. That would be interesting. Okay, and then she said another pre-merge vote off, and I think she was probably talking about Haley there as a pre-merge vote off, which I wouldn't disagree with her on that. And then she said, LOL, in his interviews, she's talking about Brad here. In his interviews, he says he's still playing for Monica. There you go. I wish Patricia was still in the chat room. I'm sorry, Patricia. I didn't see.
She probably left because we weren't responding to her messages.
And then she said, Ty is not going to last pre-merge. He's going to be making people paranoid because he flipped on Jason and Scott. I
don't think flipping on Jason and Scott's a bad thing, though. I mean, he flipped, but
yeah, of all people, that might not be the worst.
Probably okay. I think it's probably a good thing that he distance himself from the two biggest villains.
He stood up to Jason and Scott.
Yeah, but I mean, it was almost to the point of whoever talks to Ty last gets him.
Yeah.
Well, like you said before, I don't think they're going to approach Ty thinking he's like a flip-flopper. They're going to approach Ty where if I can get into him early, I can get into his head and control him the entire game.
Yep.
Yeah, I just feel like Ty. You may think that about Ty if you're playing with him, and then someone else said something that you may or may not have said, and Ty gets like, "Well, I don't appreciate that," and then he goes with. I mean, so I don't know. Who knows? All right, who's after Michaela?
Her buddy Zeke.
Zeke, the guy that really, really, I think surprised himself in his season. Started off so.
He started off like
insecure
so
and stuff.
And I want to say I was just surprised the way he left the game, where it kind of felt like you almost felt like there's like more there that he didn't get to play out. So I'm really happy that they brought him back. I think he's just as good as Michaela in confessionals, and I think he's got a good strategic head. Unlike Michaela, though, I think he'll be seen as someone like the unknown will be more of a threat to the players than the unknown to Michaela will be, because they'll assume that he's kind of the strategic guy, and not having really any previous run-ins or relationships with these people. I think I could see Zeke not socially connecting as well, or just really not fitting in with the tribe that he's on, or the swap tribe if there's a swap early in the game. So I think Zeke could have actually a tougher time doing as well as he did last season.
See, I'm looking at the tribe, and I'm thinking that if what I think is going to happen with Sierra, Andrea, and Siri, that Zeke would fit right into that easily.
True. Yeah. No, I don't think Zeke will be an early boot. I think he could potentially be someone who goes, later pre-merge, or maybe just kind of gets in the wrong spot and just ends up the same way he did last season, kind of an early jury boot.
You know who else I think could go in that little group that I'm developing?
Tell me the group again. Say the whole group again.
Siri, Andrea Belke, Sierra, Zeke, and then I think JT. I could see all of them.
I don't think JT and Siri are going to work together. Aren't they kind of mortal enemies?
Well, I don't know.
I thought they were.
I think Ty would be in that group.
Yeah, Ty would. And they'll rope in. I think it'll be the girls. Plus Zeke and Ty. I think actually JT holds in that team. Is it
Ozzy and Brad? Yeah, Ozzy and Brad are in that group too.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a tough one. I don't see those three guys going that early, but I think Mana's going to be the tribe that loses.
I think with Michaela and Zeke being so new, I think what some of these players are going to do is try and gauge why they're back right away. And I think Michaela, her challenge prowess is going to stand out really big. I think Zeke's personality is going to stand out really big. He is such a laughable person, very easy to talk to, and he can talk to anybody about any topic, it seems. He can fit into any conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to play in his favor. It could help them overlook stuff. But at the same time, you're right, Ryan, about how there's a reason they're here. It's not because he tells good jokes.
Right,
there's a reason this guy's back. So that's going to be in the back of their mind. But I think for Zeke, I think his personality is going to stand way out. And I think he's just going to shine in that way and make it somebody you want to keep around. Because, when you every night when you're around the fire, or every morning when you get up, you want to talk to somebody that you want to talk to. There's people you don't want to talk to, but there's always people that you do. And I think Zeke is one of those people that you love to talk to.
I think Zeke could have done well had they waited a couple more seasons to bring him back, and have people watch him play and probably maybe even like him more than they did having not known how he played. But I think he could do well here, depending on who he ends up working with. I would like to see him do well. I just don't know if it'll happen or not.
Zeke is one of those guys that is all nice and sweet and happy until he's going for you. He's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Because there was a couple tribal councils when he was in control that some of that, snarky side came out. But it'll be interesting to see if he gets in control. Will he take that snarkiness, and will that go against him or not? I don't know.
I don't see him going to that level in this game, just because he's surrounded by 18 people who he probably, as like a super fan, probably almost idolizes in a way, a lot of them. So I don't think he's going to feel in the position to where he can step up as the guy calling the shots. I think he's going to be laying a lot lower, just kind of letting the bigger players take themselves out because they know each other. They know how big of a threat each other are. And
that's also going to be, I think, in his favor, that he's going to be the one that has that over them. Whereas, wow, you're Ozzy. Wow, you're Sari. Wow, you're Andrea Belke. So he's going to have that as a fan, And I don't know. I just think it plays into his personality as somebody that's going to stick around for a little while.
Yes. See, I can see Zeke laying back, just like Ryan's talking about, laying back, letting the other people control, not being a target, and then getting himself into a position where he's in control. And once he's in control, I think he would hold it. Maybe not to the end, but he would keep that control. That's kind of what I'm seeing in this.
So for that reason, I think he should be on my team.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he will, because I won't get that lucky, even though I got really lucky with.
Oh, I don't know. Well, Dwaine, guess what? You're right. You're not David's team.
Well, David, you only had 4, and I had 7 already, so the odds were definitely in your favor.
Maybe the odds forever.
I'm not going in order, so it's supposed to be. I could get your 8, 9, and 10 here, and then finish off David after that.
I know. I was just talking about odds. He had 6 more on his team, and I had 3, so he had 100% more chance of getting his player than I did, just because of the way they're coming out.
I'd say 95.
Don't try to figure out.
Close enough. Close enough. All right, who's next?
Next, the biggest game changer of them all, Mr. Caleb Reynolds. The guy who almost died.
Sanders fan. Sanders' biggest fan. There you go.
All right. Y'all tell me what you think. I don't really have a lot to say about Caleb.
Early boot. I think he's got no shot.
You think he's pre-merge boot?
Mm-hmm. I think he got a very generous edit in Korong because of the way he left. He was, very positively, basically set up to return, obviously. But I mean, I watched him in Big Brother whenever he was on that show, and he is kind of a train wreck. Like I don't know. I think his social game's not the best. I think he can rub a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah.
He's strong in challenges, so I'll give him that as far as maybe being kept around a little bit for that reason. But he and Sandra are going to go to blows like immediately, and I think she's gonna crush him. She's gonna make sure that she's gonna win that fight.
Yeah.
I think
I really agree with you.
The thing about Caleb is he's winning in this game, being the 4th person out. He's going to feel like he has so much to prove that he's going to want to go in and be the guy in charge like immediately. And I think that's just going to backfire, blow up in his face, and cause him to have a nice vacation with the rest of the pre-jury.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Caleb's. It's not just his mouth's going to get him in trouble. His whole persona and his whole the way he carries himself and things like that. I think that's gonna, like you said, Sandra's gonna not like that at all, and Michaela I don't think is. And the recent things that came up were him, questioning Sandra and Tony's legitimacy as game changers, and like it just shows that there's not a lot going on upstairs. If there is, it's not the right kind of thought.
Is it that, or is him just trying to start a fire? Was he like that in Big Brother?
I just don't.
See, I haven't seen Big Brother, but I've heard what you said earlier about him in Big Brother. I've heard that, but I don't watch Big Brother. So
he definitely. I think that he believes what he's saying. Yeah, I think he lives in his own little world in his mind. I don't think that.
I think the fact that
putting it on
for the 11 or 12 days that we saw him, all we saw were his challenge abilities and him and Ty. I don't remember hardly anything else about strategy, and there may have been. But if they're building a hero edit around you, where is the rest of the edit? Because all I remember was Ty and the challenges. I mean, I know they didn't lose, so there wasn't much else to show as far as going to tribal. But what else was there to see? And I just don't remember seeing it. I agree. I think he's an early boot, and like you said, being with Sandra, I think she's gonna find a way to probably turn the whole tribe against him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he'll be the first boot. I could be kind of surprised at things. He might be able to keep his cool a little bit longer than that. But yeah, I don't. I mean, I think, and I honestly, I kind of hope that Sandra or Tony are the ones that are responsible for his downfall. Just kind of things he said. I mean, he's kind of like backtracked now. Having it come back out in the open, where it's like, oh no, Sandra's great, or oh no, Tony's great. But knowing that his mindset at the time was they're sucky players, and I'm, God's gift to Survivor, right? I don't know. That's not going to work in his favor at all.
But, it's kind of as far as him being a first boot, it's really hard in my estimation to see a guy like that who gives a full 100% the entire challenge for them to want to get rid of him, no matter how annoying he might seem to them. I mean, because he's going to be such an asset because he doesn't give up. I mean, he's 100% all the way.
Yeah, I didn't mean him as first boot, if that's what I said. I didn't mean that, but I don't see him getting to the merge.
Yeah.
I bet he'll be a victim of once they have a swap, he'll piss somebody off and they'll vote him out.
Yeah, probably so. All right, whose team is El Caleb on?
Oh well, sorry, but he goes to Dwaine. He could be one who maybe scores some points just for running his mouth a lot, but
I don't think that's a category.
Yeah, I am so encouraged. Well, David, good thing we're not competing this season because you're going to kick my butt.
I don't know.
I think you are.
okay,
All
your last
right.
picks were like your two best, so you were down for 1-4-1.
All right, who's next?
Next is one of my personal favorites, and the reason that I think Korong was as popular as it was, Miss Debbie Donato Warner. The chemist, waitress, rocket scientist.
Keep going.
Of course,
Oh, boy.
person, not caretaker to nuns.
Juggler, you know. So
I think astronaut, former WNBA player.
Yeah,
Long
chemist. Yeah,
WWE
She's a
diva.
model. Don't forget the modeling.
yes.
That's right.
I don't know if I ever saw that magazine with her in it. I don't think
The
so.
website. I'll send you the link after the show.
It's kind of like that woman who. Oh wait, we gotta let him talk so we can see the cup. Damn it. It's kind of like.
Cup, yeah.
There you go.
Survivor
It's kind
Cup,
of like the
D&D,
player.
now in mug form. You can get their
right.
mugs on a mug.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because that's what I say on Twitter. It's kind of like that
Paying my check
woman
now.
a couple seasons ago who said that she wrote a book. You know.
Oh, that was Rachel.
Yeah, she's an author because she wrote a book, but it's self-published and no one knows where it is. And yet, and it's kind of like Debbie. Yes, I'm a model. My husband took pictures of me, and
Those are some pretty professional looking pictures, Dwayne. Not gonna lie.
oh, you actually saw him?
Of course I did.
Oh, nice.
Well, as soon as I saw that Debbie was a model, I mean, I had to do some fact checking.
Well, yeah, of course.
I was not disappointed.
So how do you think Debbie's going to do, Ryan?
Debbie's gonna win. Debbie is gonna be the winner of Game Changers. No. Well, I mean, as much as I mean, if that happened, I would probably I would quit watching the show because that you can't go any higher than that point where, everything else in there would just be downhill for me.
Yeah.
Debbie won. I'd just be like, that's it. I'm out. I got my fill. Dream fulfilled.
Yeah, I'm not really thinking. Yeah. Poor Debbie. Poor Debbie. Is there anybody she can click with on that tribe?
I don't know. See, the thing about Debbie is she's either going to be an early boot because no one gets her at all.
Yeah.
Or she's going to be kind of just like, well, Debbie's not a threat, so we'll just put up with her annoyance and kind of drag her along as long as we can stand her.
Yeah.
I think I think Debbie's going to play the exact same game. I think she's going to do better than people expect pre-merge and then kind of go off the wall post-merge and end up on the jury again.
Yeah. I got her right around the time of the merge, either right before or right after.
Yeah, I'm hoping although I'm hoping I'm wrong, I'm hoping she's in the finals and is the first unanimous female winner of the show. But
as far as the challenge goes, she has potential to get you a lot of points if she somehow makes it far. But I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Yeah, it depends on how pivotal to the story Debbie is. If Debbie's kind of involved in the major events, I think she'll get a lot of airtime. If she's not, then I could see her sadly maybe not being as prominent as she was in Korong. But I still love her.
Vader Girl. I like Vader Girl. Hello, Vader Girl. Welcome to the chat room. Yes, she. Remember the person last season that said my claim to fame is I was born? Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Is that what Debbie said?
I don't think it was Debbie.
No, I believe that.
All right, who has the unfortunate luck to have Debbie? I'm thinking it's David.
It is not unfortunate luck to
I
have
wouldn't say it's
Debbie.
unfortunate.
Debbie on your team is a winning team, Dwayne.
Debbie is a confessional queen. She could if she lasts past the merge, there's going to be a lot of confessional. Debbie's
just a queen. She's actually probably legit royalty in some rando, European.
I think she won Miss Universe, didn't she?
I mean, yeah, that's probably on her resume.
Not this universe, but another.
No, I wonder how long is her resume. You know, whenever is her like resume like 20 pages long? It probably is.
Oh,
I could just imagine. I really would like a copy of that to.
yeah. You know, someone told her your resume needs to be only 1 page, so she used 0.1 font. You can't read it unless you have a microscope.
I would be happy to have her on my
show. She probably embedded the microscope that you would use to do that.
She was one of the engineers and the glass designer.
Yes.
And creator. All right. Should I just go ahead and put David beside her? Yes.
Yep. You're welcome, David. Whenever she wins, you owe me a drink or something.
If she wins, I may just quit podcasting. All right.
If she wins, I will start my own podcast called the Debbie Donato Wanner Fan Club Podcast.
Okay. All right. Who's next on our amazing list?
Oh, that was a grand finale. No, I'm kidding. Next up, we've got Sarah. A little less exciting than Debbie, but
Sarah Lucina.
Yeah. As far as the challenge goes, the D&D challenge, she ain't gonna get a lot of points.
I don't know. See, I think Sarah's one that I could see her potentially winning, just because she's not. I think if anyone, she's probably learned a lot from her last game too, because I think she'll come into this a little less cocky and sure of her position in the game, where I think she'll be a lot more observant and self-aware and potentially go a lot farther.
Untapped potential. I think it's there. I think, like you said, she stepped on her own self in the first time, and I think she learns from it. And I think she plays this game a little better than she did the first time. I don't think she showed all of her cards last time. I just think she was my pick last time. I really liked her pregame, and she was my pick.
I was surprised. I think she was probably my. I don't know. I was blind. For the entire time of Kageyana airing, I was like 100% convinced that Cass was winning. I think I just like convinced myself that was happening, even though the rest of the world knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
But no, whenever Sarah was voted out, or like at least prior to the episode where she was voted out, I probably had her ranked as number 2 as far as most likely to win.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
What a great boot episode. I think her boot episode is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, in the history of the show.
Yeah.
Well, one thing about her is
more so for the rise of Chaos Cass, but
yeah, of course,
for Sarah too.
One thing about Sarah is she's not going to be as quick to trust as she was last game. And she's going to not like Tony at all. I think as soon as she is anywhere near Tony, as soon as he is on the same tribe as her, she will do everything she can to get rid of him.
You think though? I mean, because I mean, obviously he betrayed her, but you kind of wonder maybe like they kind of patch things up.
Yep, that's where I was going next.
To the point where they might be able to work together. I mean, who knows?
Well, see, actually, that would be the ideal. They secretly are working together, but everybody thinks they're not. Everybody thinks they hate each other, but they are going, to the Spy Shack or somewhere else, and they're really in cahoots. That would be cool.
They fall into my category that I love of who would ever expect.
Right.
They're going to say like showmans or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would love to see that happen. I would love to see that, but
Cops Are Us 2.0.
I think she goes past the merge.
Oh yeah,
I think she's one of those.
She's not going to be voted out, early for being, not contributing. I think she'll be a driving force of, the strategic development of the game.
Okay.
I think I have her maybe right before the finale getting voted out, just because I think she'll be a dominant player. I think they'll probably realize that if we don't vote Sarah out now, she could potentially win. So I could see her being voted out for that reason, about middle of the merger. So,
all right,
or I can see her winning.
I could see her winning. Yeah, I agree. For that reason, she should be on my team.
Well, let's find out.
I would like her to be on your team.
Sarah will be joining David.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
You're gonna regret those yeses in like so many months.
That's right. All right, Mr. Ryan, who is next on your list?
Next up is Mr. Malcolm.
Malcolm Freeberg.
Yeah, Mr. Smiles himself.
Yeah, Malcolm's like the almost ideal built person for Survivor. He's smart, he's sociable, he's athletic. Or just for whatever reason, he hasn't quite gotten to the end. Or I think if Malcolm makes the end, I think it's going to be really, really tough to beat him.
Yeah.
Just as you have to kind of really lock that down those last couple of days of the game.
I love playing poker, and I really feel like he came back a little too soon. Maybe just physically or mentally for himself. And I feel like in Caramellan, he bluffed too soon or too big. He still made it really far. He made it past the merge, but I just felt like he was running on steam at that point.
Yeah, and he kind of got like he was with the wrong people. He was just with the guys' alliance from kind of the Cochran and the girls are the ones that were really taking over where he just, couldn't.
What were they called? The Bro Alliance or Bro Amigos, whatever they were. Something like that. Yeah. But I just feel like that's a great point. He was unfortunately with the wrong group on the wrong side of the alliance split. But I just felt like in Caramellan, he just went for it too soon. He was going to hit the ground before he get to day 39. If they can win challenges, I'd love to see him go far again and have a chance to win this time. Yeah, I agree with you. He's an ideal player.
I don't see Malcolm really as many times as he has or may play Survivor. I don't really ever see him being an early boot, pre-merge boot. I think he's always merge or jury bound. It's just a matter of if he can get kind of past that, day 33 hump where he needs to. He almost like has to win challenges though. Because if he's in the final 4, final 5, if he's not immune, he's going home. I mean, so I think he's got to unfortunately kind of win his way at the last couple of days, but which he's capable of doing.
Isn't he the one that stood before one of the girls and made some comment about playing women or something like that? Wasn't that him? I wish I could remember what was said.
Huh? Oh, I can hear. I remember the comment, but I don't remember who said it either.
What was the comment? What was the comment?
Oh, I mean, I remember it being said. Oh, shoot.
Because I remember I was watching it going, you just told her how you scam women or something like that. I don't remember what it was. I thought it was him though.
I remember that.
Brad would say something like that.
Yeah.
It could have been Caleb. You never know.
All right. I would like to have Malcolm on my team because he's going to get some points, buddy. And I am due for a team member. So let's see what happens. Let's see if fate.
This would be 8-8 if he falls on my side.
Let's see if fate falls my way.
Wait, it's 8. This would be 8-8.
This will be 8-8
if he gets him, but he ain't going to get him. I'm getting him. Right. See, I can see through the paper and it says my name.
You're right, though.
Yes. Oh.
I actually double fold these because actually, if I just wrote down on one side, you could see through your paper. See, isn't that? Dwaine. Good old Hobby Lobby.
That's funny. I'll explain to you why that's funny in just a little bit. All right, who's next after Mel?
I got that symbol crasher, but I'm like,
that's not what was funny. That was just an annoying symbol crash because I was excited. All right, who's next?
Next up, we've got also from Caramoan, Andrea
Belke.
I like Andrea for points because I think she's a good storyteller. I mean, she's a professional journalist now anyway, right? For people. So she's great in front of a camera. Great. They
talker. Really like her. I think if there's any woman who I would say was going to get a lot of confessional airtime, I would probably definitely say Andrea's top 3 of that.
I'm actually kind of surprised she played again. Because, I mean, she's doing really well. She's getting very successful.
I want to say that her career kind of really recently took off, or maybe once she got back from that, she took a bigger jump. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I mean, I feel it's not it wasn't like Elizabeth Hasselbeck levels of rising fame where you can still go do Survivor for 2 months and be fine.
Right. Yeah. Elizabeth will never come back on the show. That's for sure.
It would be interesting though because I think she'd be a very different person than she was.
Much more.
No, I'm pretty sure. I think I've heard that she's actually asked Jeff, do not call me.
Right. Yeah. right before she went on The View, it's like, hey, don't call me. I don't need you to call me.
It's kind of funny because you wonder, like, had she done All Stars instead of The View, how her life would be.
Not as good as it is now.
Probably not. No, honestly,
No,
not as much
no.
money for sure. Good for her.
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, really, Andrea, I don't remember much of her gameplay, so I don't really have a lot to say about her.
I remember her being one of the first people to wake up from under Rob's spell.
Yeah, and then he put the Kaiba.
Yeah. That's why he took her out right after that. She was, oh my gosh, this guy's actually going to win because you people think he's not going to win, but he's going to win. And then she was gone right after that.
Yeah, she kind of. I mean, I'm glad that like someone from that season has returned. I guess Philip did too, just because
we don't talk about that.
That was the Rob show. You don't like Philip. But no, Kira Mullen, she really impressed me. She played a really strong game. I think it's just kind of the fact. I think it was like final. I think she ended up getting 7th, where again she was playing such a great game that other people caught on and voted her out. And also she had an idol, so that's kind of the reason why she gets voted out. But
I mean, she's got 2 high finishes: 5th in Boston Rob season, and then 7th in Kira Mullen. That's not bad.
I think that's where she'll end up again. I can see her pretty much playing the same way, doing really well the entire time. And it's around that final 6, final 7, people kind of wake up and go, you know what, Andrea is going to win, so let's vote her out now.
Yeah, and by doing that, she's going to get me points because she's going to have a bunch of confessionals. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, all right. What team is she on?
Is she on?
I'm writing her name down.
This will be the last member of Dwayne's team, correct?
Correct.
It would be.
That means I know. Yeah.
It's not though. It's David.
Yes. Who is next?
All right, we're down to Ozzy, JT, and Sandra. So we're gonna start with Ozzy.
Mr. Ozzy. He's like, I mean, do you think he'll live up to his name, he's been put up so high on a pedestal. Can he live up to it?
I think he's still got it in him. I think he's still going to be the same Ozzy we all know for like winning every single challenge. I mean, because the last time we saw him was what? Was that 5 years ago now?
South Pacific.
It was. Wow, that is weird. That was 5 years ago. So he's in his mid-30s now, I believe. Said it was like early 30s and 20s like the first couple times, but I think he'll still do well. He seems to finally have realized that like there's a social game to play instead of just kind of relying on winning challenges to get you all the way to the end. People like him, so I think they'll gravitate toward him. They won't want to vote him out early. I think he'll be someone that people want on their side, and then come to merge once he becomes a real threat. As soon as he's not wearing the necklace, he'll be voted out.
Yeah,
regardless of where he stands socially.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I didn't watch any of his pregame stuff. I've heard that he makes comments about learning the social game, but however, the problem is he's playing with people that already know how to play the social game and have done well with the social game. I think he's going to be a victim of the swap. If there's a swap, if there's a shuffle, I think he could be one of those victims of it. If a tribe starts losing and they've got their alliance together and he's on the wrong side of the numbers, I don't think he makes the merge this time.
Might vote him out right before the merge, knowing that if he goes to the merge, he's going to win.
Absolutely. I think this is the first time he doesn't make the merge of his 3 other chances.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Jeff would have a heart attack. Yeah. Jeff would probably call off production. Say, no, y'all are not allowed to vote him off.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have aired the season if Ozzy was voted out pre-merge.
Well, according to Probst, he had to tell CBS. CBS wanted Ozzy. He didn't want Ozzy.
Yeah, I saw that.
He wanted Malcolm.
Probst
that was the one preseason thing I saw.
Yeah,
they want Ozzy back. So I guess
there you go.
I agree with Probst.
I don't believe Jeff that he didn't want Ozzy back, though.
I don't either. I had a hard time.
He's just saying that to get people talking.
Why would he admit that though? Why would he admit to not wanting Ozzy back?
So that we wouldn't think he wants.
If he really didn't, back. Why would he admit it? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
If he really did, yeah. See, I don't think he'd admit it. I think he does want him back, and he's doing that just to get the fires going and the talks going.
Mm-hmm. I think, maybe to make the fans believe that that
he's not a man crush. He's not one of his man crushes. So
I really, I think it'd be really fun if they did like just like a Jeff's man crush season with like Colby, Malcolm, Joe.
That would be awesome. Survivor.
Boston Rob.
Man crush.
Like I don't know. Like I don't know who he would rig it for. He'd probably just like spontaneously combust on the spot, not knowing who to root for.
All right, Vader Girl just made a very, very interesting post in our chat room.
Oh,
David, do you see that?
I
y'all
do
see
see that.
that?
Dwayne. Yes.
yeah, that
He
I think
did
that was,
not.
That was definitely a thing.
Did Ozzy make a film?
Adult
film
adult
review?
feature.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh my gosh! Oh, well,
Yeah.
no wonder he can try those.
It's
They're
okay.
for
We're,
sweetheart there, ladies.
we're after 10 o'clock Eastern, so it's okay.
Well, based on Ryan's research on a Debbie, I guess he researched this as well.
That's not how
Oh,
I found it.
okay. Well, you said once you heard about her modeling, I figured, once you heard about that.
Yeah, no, that one I did not
Pursue,
look up
yeah.
details for.
All right.
Him and Tanya Harding,
Thank God.
they just kind of made their own together.
I still think he's right before the merge, so I don't think the points are going to be there. But man, if he makes the merge, I'll take the points if he's on my team.
All right. Whose team is Ozzy on?
That's the right one. He is joining David.
David.
So check my math. You guys should both be at 9 right now.
Yep, we got 2 winners left. One double winner, greatest player of all time.
What I'll do is we'll go through both, and then that way we don't know who's who, and I'll reveal.
Okay.
I
after we've done
guarantee
both JT
you,
and Sandra.
David wants Sandra big time on his team. Am I right, David?
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
No, I'm okay.
Of course I do. She's my favorite player.
I know, and you saw her in Best Buy.
I met her in person.
I know. And you walked up to her and go, "Oh, Sandra." No, that's not what you did, but you felt that. That's awesome.
That's okay. I'd probably just like melt. I'd be like,
That was the first Survivor you ever saw personally, right? And now it's old hat to you.
And it was right after the season, and I didn't even see her. I saw her husband because the family visit was still fresh in my head. I think his name's David, and I saw him. I told Jerry, I said, "That looks like that Sandra that just won Survivor. It looks like her husband." And she goes, "Well, is that Sandra who was standing on the other side of him?" After that,
and after David got up off the floor, he went over there. You didn't ask for her autograph, did you? I don't remember.
No, I'm not an autograph collector, but I did shake her hand and told her I really enjoyed the season, thought it was awesome, and got away as quick as possible so she wouldn't think I was a stalker or anything.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing I do not care about at all is signatures.
Yeah, I don't either. And she's a big supporter of the Durham Warrior Survivor Challenge in Maine, and I hope she makes it back.
I know. I was so mad that she wasn't there, but I'm like, oh, it's because she's filming this. So
yeah,
she better have won. Otherwise, her missing me winning would be
that's right.
A travesty.
That's right.
That's right, man. Who's next?
I think,
JT? Oh no, you were going to do them both at the same time.
Let's do JT first. Save the best for last.
Who's after JT? I don't remember.
Sandra.
Thank you. We were just talking about her. Oh gosh!
I'm sorry. Is he kidding?
I thought. Wait, you're not like in your 60s or 70s. I thought you were younger than that.
You think so? You think so? Based on that? Wow. All right.
All right. So
Vader Girl just wrote about Ozzy. Caleb looked pretty starstruck. You think that's because of the movie or because of Survivor?
Caleb probably noticed. Don't know world. I'd imagine.
All right.
Right. He probably didn't realize he was on Survivor. He's probably just like, I recognize him from some films.
All right, JT and Sandra. Man, Sandra's just amazing. How in the world they let her win a second time, or they didn't let her win, but
because she's good.
She's the best.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who doubts that Sandra is like, one of the best to play, like, is kind of off the rocker.
Yeah, it is impossible to manipulate her. Impossible. There's
I think you're totally right. I think she's only really been blindsided. I mean, I guess she's been a couple of votes maybe, but as far as like buying into what people are selling, I think she's pretty good call on when someone's BSing and when they're not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she's very perceptive and she knows how to play under the radar. She knows how to manipulate, but without people realizing she's manipulating.
She like, you know, people know her as like a straight shooter, like, you know, potty mouth, like tells it like it is. So that works that works majorly in her favor. When then she goes and tells these lies, people are like, well, it's Sandra, so she's not lying to me. Sandra's always telling, you know, the real deal, where when she lies, you don't even know it because you just trust everything she says.
Right. Yeah. Well, what I was trying to say there was that she's such she's really good at manipulating, but people don't realize she's manipulating, which is
correct.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I think there are people on this tribe that she could manipulate. And like you said earlier, Tony is going to want to keep her around. At least in the early parts.
I don't know if he is though. I think he and Sandra are both after each other. Like Tony does not. Tony wants to dethrone the queen, so he's making sure he doesn't win. You want to make sure he goes down before him.
But if she's gone, then he's the next target, or not he's the next target. He's the default target, unless somebody else does something wrong or socially does something wrong.
Right. I mean, and I hope he realizes that. I'd hate to see him take out Sandra and then him go out next, because what a crappy start to the season that would be.
How telling is it that we said we were going to talk about JT first, but we went right to Sandra? How telling is that?
I mean, it's Sandra, so how I could have guessed at that.
Yeah. All right.
I don't really have much to say about JT. You know, JT, I actually just recently watched Tocantins back over this last winter. And while he was like the first person to play the perfect game, you know, having no votes cast against him and getting all votes in the end, I don't really think that he was a spectacular player. I think how much just like JT, the human being, his personality is what made him such a great player at Survivor. People just kind of naturally gravitated toward JT as a person. I don't think really JT had to really do anything to like draw them in. He just kind of, whenever they were already drawing themselves in, he just kind of, you know, let them stay there. Yeah, like you watch the merge of Tocantins, and it's pretty much, it's not really JT and Steven, you know, blowing Timbira apart. It's kind of Timbira eating themselves, and JT and Steven kind of just watch and laugh at the whole thing.
Yep. All right.
Well, I know he won, and I know all those votes went for him and not against him, but all I see is him giving Russell that idol.
I think Heroes vs. Villains was more of an accurate portrayal of how JT plays whenever he's got the ability to play. Like in Tocantins, it's just a matter of, you know, surviving, outlasting the Timbira while they implode. While in Heroes vs. Villains, like, all right, now I can actually play. He played and wasn't really proved to be a super great
All right,
player.
so now let's talk about Sandra. Okay.
Yeah, I got a little quiz here.
Okay.
What is the quote that Sandra is known for? I know you're going to know this.
So many.
As long as it's not me.
Oh, my favorite is I can get loud too. What the?
Oh. I just remember.
The first time I became her fan was in Pearl Islands when she spoke the language of the people that lived there to barter those items that they were selling back and forth. Because their first challenge, so to speak, was to go into this community and sell really stuff and barter stuff. And she starts speaking the language. I'm like, wow, she's awesome. And then, of course, Rupert steals the shoes and sells them from the other side, so from the other group. But yeah, as soon as she did that, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I want to watch her keep playing. So,
just for the record, I want Sandra on my team. So does David.
For the record, I need Sandra on my team.
You do not. You have the better team. Goodness gracious. All right.
Lots of pressure on.
I guess we'll do.
I'll sell and the suspense and make JT like the sad leftover. Even though I think JT will probably do relatively well in this season, I don't think he'll be voted out early. I think he'll probably end up early merge jury type.
Yeah, I think with all the bigger targets out there and Mr. Nice Guy, I agree. I think he could go further than.
All right. So just to be clear, are you telling us whose team JT is on, or whose team?
No, this is Sandra. Who gets Sandra?
Yeah. Okay. So this is Sandra, right?
Yeah. This is the game changer right here.
Yes, right.
Okay, so Dwaine, stop talking because I don't get to see it because you're in my picture now. So let him talk and don't talk anymore.
The winner is, who gets Sandra? Dwaine.
There is a God.
I didn't know that you were madly in love with her, David, so I probably would have given her to you.
Oh, no. It's okay.
No, because it was random. You didn't give it to anybody.
I said I would have randomly given him or given her to him.
Oh, look, I accidentally put her over here.
that was the wrong card.
To David.
I'll take him.
All right.
If I hadn't already submitted the thing like a week ago, I would have made that last minute switch there. But they were locked in on Sunday or Monday.
Yeah. So some of you are wondering, well, how did your teams get into the D&D Survivor Challenge? Because we gave our answers to Ryan, and then Ryan submitted our teams for us since we didn't know who they were.
I posed as David and Dwaine for those 5 minutes. It was great.
All right, I'm going through and marking who my team is.
Actually, I did inadvertently give you guys. David got 5 of mine, and Dwaine got 5 of mine. That I ended up picking, so
that's pretty cool.
By complete luck, that was unintentional.
All right, let's see. Just a second.
Well, basically, I probably have the most about your best of both your teams, but
I just counted what Dwayne's counting now. I got half of the people that I put on my wish list.
Also, there you go. I made both you happy. Then.
Oh,
I guess
that's pretty. That's pretty even.
I haven't counted.
Oh, what are you counting?
I'm just marking who's on my team because. Oh wait.
Oh, you weren't writing them down.
Who was Michelle? No, okay. Michaela's on.
I need to copy the list. Here it is.
Caleb and Malcolm and Sandra. All right, David. Before we get to our 10 favorites. Well, I'll tell you what. Do you want to do our 10 favorites first? Our 10 favorites first or our tribe names first? Which one do you want to do?
Do the tribe names last.
All right. So our favorites. Yeah. Now, everybody listen, on the people that are listening to us, our favorites are not the 10 we wanted on our team. This is just of all the 20 people playing, who are our 10 favorites? Right? Mm-hmm. So, David, why don't you go first? I would love to hear your 10 favorites.
The 5 that are on my tribe, that ended up being on my tribe, are Aubrey, Zeke, Sarah, Tony, and Troyzan.
Okay, hold on. See, I gave it Troyzan. You got to be happy about that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was ecstatic. Especially why, but you know why, but otherwise we'll find out in a minute.
Okay, hold on.
Aubrey, and I hope you still have the answer to my questions because I don't have the answers to my questions.
Aubrey, Zeke. Who else?
Aubrey,
Troyzan,
Sarah, and Tony.
Yeah, you did get Tony, didn't you? All right. And who are the other ones? Like one at a time, please.
Okay. The other ones are Malcolm.
Yeah.
Suri. Sandra, of course. Varner.
Awesome. Let's see. Sandra, where's
Are we close?
Just like
we're within 2. I'd say you probably have 2 different than mine.
Well, I don't have them written at the same place where I just wrote yours, so.
Okay.
My 10 favorite in no particular order are Michaela. Was she? Yeah, she was one of yours too. Mm-hmm. Malcolm. No, sorry, not Malcolm. Not Malcolm. Michaela, then Jeff Varner.
Yep, same list. Yeah. Same.
Then Sandra Diaz. Is it Sandra or Sandra?
I think it's probably Sandra, but they've always said
I think it's Sandra, yeah.
All right, so Sandra, and then okay, this was because I could. It's hard for me to say this, but it just shows you how little.
Just say Debbie.
Okay, it's Caleb. Caleb was one of my favorites.
Instead of Malcolm.
I know. What was I thinking? All right, no, I'm not a big fan of Malcolm.
Okay,
I'm not a big fan of watching Malcolm.
Fan either. It's okay.
So I kind of, I'll enjoy watching Caleb more than I'll enjoy watching Malcolm because Caleb's so out there and he's kind of funny to watch. So
see, I'll enjoy watching Malcolm more because he actually has a chance to win.
I'll enjoy watching Caleb lose.
Well, it's like you laugh at him, not like at him, but you just laugh at the way he acts and stuff like that. So he's entertaining. Aubrey Bracco, who did one of our show intros. So did Jeff Varner, by the way. And Tony Vlachos, who did one of our show intros. And then Andrea Belke, who did a movie talk intro for us. Sierra Dawn Thomas, one of our favorite people to have on the show. We have a lot of favorites, but she's one of them.
Wait, she's been on the show?
Oh, yeah, several times.
I know that.
Yeah. And then...
I'm assuming she watched the show before you allowed her to be on it.
Do what?
Never mind.
Oh, and then Zeke. Zeke is one of my favorites. So
How many did you get?
how many did I? Oh, see, I didn't write that next to
Oh my
mine.
God.
All right. Tony's on mine.
No, he's not.
No, I mean as far as my favorites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I see what you meant. So I got Jeff Varner. You got Sierra, you idiot. Let's see. I did say Troyzan, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Troyzan, Ty. No. Michaela, she's one of my favorites, and I got her. Zeke is, but you got her. Caleb is, and I got Caleb. Malcolm isn't. Andrea, did I say Andrea? Yes, I did. Andrea, but I didn't get her. And Sandra. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 on my team of my favorites.
Nearly 50%.
Yeah, almost 40%. That's within 10%
That's pretty good.
of 50%. Oh, man. Well, all in all, I think it's going to be a fun season to watch. I think there's going to be a lot of action and activity, a lot of wonderful confessionals.
I think the season has a lot of, I'll say, potential. It has potential to do really well, or also potential to just kind of tank and be one of those where you just kind of forget about.
I can't even imagine how it would tank unless like Brad and Debbie and Caleb are the last 3 or something.
I just don't like that they like Tony, Sandra, Aubrey, like they've stacked the deck really against him, just as far as like the level of players they had. There's 20 like good players, but I think there's a couple in there who are just so good that they'll be easy targets to put out early. And just imagine like a pre-merge where like Tony, Sari, Aubrey, and Sandra are all voted out. That's just sad to watch.
Well, yeah.
And so, it just reminds me of kind of like almost like All Stars, where like the reverse boot order would have been a lot maybe better ending for the game. Where I think this one could have kind of ended the same way, where a lot of the really cool, great, big players are kind of voted out early, and the ones that didn't have the reputation going in will kind of sneak to the end and kind of own it. But we'll see. Hopefully not.
You know what I like to do is to go down the list and could this person be the first voted off? Could this person be Michaela? No way. No way. Malcolm?
No.
Haley? Maybe.
No.
I say maybe. Jeff Varner? No.
Yeah, if he really goes insane, I don't see it happening.
Candidate, but I don't see it happening either. Yeah.
All right, so y'all are maybes, and I'm a no. Troyzan?
No.
Sandra? No.
Well, I don't think so, but she's a candidate. Yeah,
I'll put maybe.
I'll say maybe.
See, I wouldn't say maybe, just for the simple fact that I think if everybody wanted to get her gone, she'd still find a way to not be voted out. I don't think it is possible for her to be voted out first.
Yeah.
So,
I would say it's possible. It's just a low possibility.
Yeah. Caleb, I say yes. It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
He
could blow up.
Yeah, I guess so, because of that. Yeah, he has the capability to blow up. Yeah.
If he wasn't on Sanders' tribe, I'd say no. But because they're together, I could see them going to blows pretty early.
Yeah.
See, I would put Haley as a higher, more likely than Caleb. But
that's true. If Caleb makes one comment about Sandra to anybody and she finds out, then he's gone.
Yeah.
No, I'm really honestly just hoping happens. Just watching him think he's got it, and then Sandra votes him out.
Yeah. Sierra Easton, I would say she's a possibility.
Yeah, that's my her or Aubrey are my two that I'm officially going with as first boot. Sadly,
Aubrey, I would say no.
I would say a candidate. I think her game reputations could hurt her. Yeah.
All right, and then Tony Vlachos, no.
I would put him as a candidate.
Boot. I mean,
see, here's the thing. I'm not asking if they're candidates.
Oh.
I'm asking, could they be voted off? And I don't think Tony would get voted off. Do what?
Could they? Yeah, but I don't. I mean,
I'd say
I
he could. Yeah.
So you think it's David? You actually think it's a possibility that he could be the first one off? That's what I'm asking.
Sure, it's a possibility. Yeah.
Well, everything's a possibility, but okay.
Well, that's what we're saying.
I think it's more likely for him than Sandra.
Well, yeah. Well, okay, if that's the case, then everybody's likely to go home because Sandra ain't going home. All right. My most likely to go home first is Haley, which I know y'all don't agree with because y'all said so.
I would
I'm
say
picking
Sierra
Haley to go
Aubrey.
home first from the Mana tribe.
Oh, so we're picking first boots.
Well,
Okay.
we might as well. Y'all have
Sure.
already chosen who you thinks are maybes.
I'm gonna go with Sierra, so Ryan's got to go with Aubrey.
No, he
Well,
doesn't.
no, I've gone to my head. I picked Sierra, so
All
Oh,
right.
really? Okay.
So y'all are
Yeah.
both Sierra. Cool.
yeah, because I think Aubrey is a little bit smoother. I think Aubrey will avoid the first boot, but Sierra won't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. The
I think
Nuku tribe.
I think Sandra's going to say, "I don't want to hear Prope say she voted off her mom anymore." So if she's, I don't want to hear that anymore.
That's like the sole reason why she's voted out, is because Sandra was tired of hearing.
Yeah,
Prope say
at the
she
first
voted out her
challenge,
mom.
Prope says, "You voted off your mom." Sandra's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's got to go."
Sandra's like the mob boss. Don't make him mad. If you make him mad, you're dead.
You won't like her if she's angry.
All right. Nuku. Siri I meant. Siri
No.
Fields.
No.
No, not in this time.
I think she is a likely possibility.
Candidate. Okay.
JT.
No.
Nope.
I'm gonna
I
say
can-
maybe.
I cannot think of a scenario.
I think the Nuku tribe. I think the women are going to control that one. So honestly, I think if I'd probably pick Brad from that tribe as far as.
Yeah, I'm looking at guys. Yeah, I agree. I'm
I don't think
thinking.
it'd be JT. He's too nice. Ozzy's too strong in challenges. You're
You're
kind of
giving it away.
All right, fine. Go ahead. I'll wait.
I cannot see a scenario where JT goes home first. So
No.
Okay. Andrea
Okay.
Belke.
No.
No.
No, I agree. Brad Culpepper. Absolutely a possibility.
Yeah.
All right, David.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you said yeah. Sierra Thomas. Nope.
No.
I cannot see that happening. David's on the phone, so he'll catch up in a minute. Ozzy. I don't see a possibility.
No,
for Ozzy.
he's too good at challenges to vote him off first. They got some time to get rid of him still.
David, Sierra, and Ozzy.
No and no.
All right. Debbie Warner or Wayner or whatever. Warner.
Sorry, Ryan. Yes. I would say yes. She's a candidate.
I'm going to say no. Debbie's in it for the long haul.
Okay, I don't think she's going to go home first, but I could make a scenario where she goes home first. So I
She
would
could
say
go home first if she just hits the ground running and people just can't keep up or just don't want to deal with it again.
Ty. Nope.
No.
No.
There is no scenario that I could think of. Sarah. I believe there would be a scenario where she could go home first.
Nah. She's good.
I wouldn't lock in that she's safe, so I'll agree that there could be a scenario.
And Zeke. Nope.
Only because of the unknown factor. He could be the first boot of that tribe. My gut would say no, though. I think he'll get along with Sari. He's played in some pseudo survivor thing with Andrew before where they've crossed paths. So I don't know if they'll, rekindle whatever friendship they may have encountered at one point in their lives. So I think he'll hook up with her. She wants to work with Sari. They'll probably pull in Ty and Debbie as easy people to string along, and maybe Sierra too, right? I think that 6 will be the ones that control the votes of that Nuku tribe.
So you did see a scenario where he could go home, but you don't think he's going to go home.
Correct.
So he'd be a yes to you. I think he's going to hook up with Sierra, Sari, Andrea, and JT, and that's going to be a pretty strong little force there, and they're just going to need one more person. All right. Of all those people, Ryan, who do you think's going home first?
We're just talking Nuku tribe only?
Yeah, Nuku.
I'd have to go with Brad. I think of that tribe composition, I would say Brad would be the one who would fall on the outs.
All right. How about you, David?
I was hoping you'd say yours next.
Debating.
I could see Debbie lasting at least past the first one. So, and trying to work with that group of ladies, and if they pull in Ty and Zeke, and so I would think Brad would be the Odd off choice. I have to agree.
All right. If I'm going least likely from my scenarios, least likely would be Debbie. The next one, I have Sari, Brad, and Sarah. I guess the next least likely would be Sari. The next up, I'm going with Brad. Yep. Brad Culpepper.
Brad, the podcast has spoken.
Yeah. So what do y'all think? Tell us in the Facebook group who you think is going to be first boot, or feel free to share your teams if you want and why you picked them. That'd be fun. I think we have over 70 teams signed up in the D&D Survivor Challenge. So that's going to be pretty exciting. So as you know, this season, we will record every Thursday night. There's one Thursday night in April. I will be out of town, so we'll probably have to do a quick one on Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, we should be every Thursday night. Usually with David, last season, we started at 8 Eastern time. So I kind of like to go back to that if you're okay with that.
8 Eastern time?
Yeah, because I went back and looked at our shows, and they were all 7 o'clock Central and 8 o'clock.
Oh.
That way you got to bed before 11.
I have to check.
Yeah.
See what the schedule looks like.
All right. So we're going to be recording every night, every Thursday. Every night. Wow. After the episode airs.
Really getting to do it.
Yeah. After the episode airs on Wednesday night, you have until 7 p.m. Eastern time to send us feedback. And there's a place on the website that tells you how you can send in feedback. And every episode page on our website before the episode airs shows how you could give feedback, or after we do our show, there's a link to feedback. I'm sorry to say our 1-888 number is no longer in existence. So if you want to do an audio one, I did increase SpeakPipe to 3 minutes. So you can do a 3-minute one. Poor Vader Girl kept getting cut off halfway through. So Vader Girl, I did it for you. Paid a little bit more money a month to make us have 3 minutes instead of just 90 seconds. All right, we're ramping up to the team names. Any other announcements about the season? Oh, we have several guests lined up for the season. I think we should tell them, David. What do you think?
Sure.
All right, so we've got Cass lined up for the season. Mm-hmm. We've got Jessica Lewis lined up for the season. Mm-hmm. We've got, tell me, David, I don't remember everybody.
Sunday Burkest.
Sunday, yes.
Also, Andy Baker would like to come back. We'd love to have Andy back.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's true.
I think even Steve Helling wants to come back as well. He said he'd pay us a visit.
Everybody wants to come back.
Everybody wants to come back. Well, I don't understand why. So,
yeah. Let's see. I'm going back in our little list of whenever we went down our list of who was going to be back. Isn't it in our chat room for you and me?
I think so.
Yeah, here it goes. Yeah, that's who we got coming back. Well, I was talking about Survivor players, but David's went a little bit further than that. So anyway, we're going to have a fun time this season. It's going to be a fun time with Survivor Talk with D&D. You got to read Ryan's blog on our website. Always good. What?
It's the best. It's not the best.
It's the best blog on our website.
I hope
there you go.
Right now.
It's the best live blog on your website.
It's the only blog on our website.
I didn't know that.
One of my favorite lines from a movie is the movie Author, and he's sitting at the table and he's drunk off his gourd. And the girl that loves him to death is sitting there, and he goes, "You're the most beautiful woman at this table." It's really funny. All right, it is time to tell you our prediction questions. What?
Oh, I'm sorry, because I thought you were wrapping up the close and you mentioned names. I'm like, we got all these questions we got to answer. So go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
I was trying to keep people.
When you start talking about, when you ramp it up, people start going click, and I'm thinking, oh, I
know, but they knew this was coming, so they didn't click.
Okay.
I hope. All right, so there's prediction questions for the D&D Survivor Challenge. These are considered bonus questions. David, do you have yours written down? Has Ryan told you what they are yet?
I found them. I found them.
Okay. There's in our Facebook.
Ryan, we'd love to hear your predictions as well, if you would like. So the first prediction. I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I got it memorized, so you're good.
Okay, good. The first prediction question is, and David, you will answer first, then Ryan, and then me on this one. First to play a hidden immunity idol.
I'm going out on a limb. And I'm actually going to say it's Ozzy because I think he's going to need it.
Ozzy. All right. Ryan, who did you pick?
I gotta go with Tony. He'll find it. He'll play it. It'll be a great time. You'll even play too.
By the way, I just realized David told me I'm shaking my camera to death. I'm sorry. It's because I got this table and I keep shaking it.
I'm just so excited.
I thought it was me. That's what I was worried about. I thought it was me.
David's getting sick to his stomach. He's like throwing up over there because I picked Zeke to be the first one to play an immunity idol.
Okay.
All right. Ryan, you'll go first this time, then me, and then David. Who wins the most total? Wow, that's interestingly written. Win most total post-merge reward challenges and immunity challenges.
See, I think when I read that question, I thought it was talking about like also pre-merge. So I think my answer was Ozzy, but I don't think Ozzy will last too deep in the merge. But he still could win like everyone he is in until he's voted out. So I guess that's still a valid answer. So
if David had said he had read that question as pre-merge, I would say, so post, you didn't get the post. You didn't see that.
Yeah, I just thought like overall like most challenge wins.
Yeah,
so I just said Ozzy because that's easy.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I didn't focus on the post. I just focused on reward challenges and immunity challenges, just like you did. Yeah. And I picked Ozzy as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I read post-merge.
So I read post-merge, but I wasn't thinking.
Well, good job at reading things, David. We don't read.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I am the oldest, so that's good. So I picked post-merge, most reward and individual immunity challenge wins. I picked Troyzan.
Crap, you're probably right.
Yeah, had I read it better, that's probably what I would have done.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to Andy Westover and see if he can change it.
No,
but Andy, we know Andy, Mr.
It is closed. It is closed.
Yeah.
Locked.
I mean, yeah. All right, then I will answer this one first. Then David, then Ryan. Castaway with the most confessionals. Oh, I'm so wrong on this. Tony. I am so wrong.
I think I went with Michaela, I believe.
Yeah, that would be a better one.
Was that
David,
before or after
Ryan skipped over you, but
that's all right.
Go.
Was that before or after, Ryan, you saw my pick of Michaela for most confessionals?
I submitted mine like weeks ago. You guys were way behind me.
Okay, just checking. I did Michaela as well.
Oh, I should have said Michaela. You know what I did when I answered these questions? I only remembered like 4 people that were playing.
There's a problem.
So that's kind of all I had to choose from because I didn't even know the full cast.
Maybe I picked Malcolm. I may have picked Malcolm. I can't remember. It's either Malcolm or Michaela.
All right. David, we're back to you going first. Castaway crowned the sole survivor.
I went with a sentimental pick, but I also think he has a chance after winning the most challenges because he's going to need them. I picked Troyzan.
Wow. Wouldn't that be cool if Troyzan won?
It would.
He's a neat guy. All right. Ryan, who's your pick to win?
I think it's finally going to happen. And as much as I would like to see Sandra win a 3rd time, I think the winner is going to be Suri.
No, there is not. No.
No, Dwaine, we do not argue picks.
Even more just because I know you don't want that to happen.
We do not argue picks. We just go with the flow.
Yeah, we do.
And it's my opinion, but it's the correct one. So
there you go. David, you are under the wrong assumption that we are not allowed to mess with each other about their picks.
You're going to mess with me about my team name, and I want to set you up not to do that. So,
oh, well, that ain't happening. I'm going to. You knew you were in a gentleman's challenge, so you better have brought a good weapon or you're dead.
It's not. So who's your winner pick?
Wait, did you even try?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Ryan, well, then it's probably good, David. It's probably
not.
Good.
Go ahead.
I picked Sandra to win. She's going to win her 3rd.
That'd be great if that happens. I'm kind of holding out hope, but
I mean, how amazing that would be. Wow. All right, Ryan, why don't you pick a number between 1 and 10, and we'll see between 1 and 20, and we'll see which one of us gets closer, and that person gets to choose who goes first. And if you didn't understand that, I did. So go ahead and pick your number, Ryan. You got it in your head?
Yes.
All right, Dwaine, you pick first.
Oh, crap. No, we're going to write them down.
No, I spoke.
Here, do you want me? I'll write mine down too, just so you know I'm not lying.
Yeah, David, write your number down.
Yes, Dwayne. I had you. I so had you.
I know, and then I realized I couldn't do that. All right,
There it is.
Ryan, what is the number? Or
Well, you have to show me
we'll show
yours.
you ours first. Mine is number 10.
Here's number 10.
Mine is
David?
number
We did the
11.
same
Wow,
thing.
you guys are really creative. My number was 4.
Whoa! David, you're doing your team name first. David.
I was actually going to say I was going to go first because I know you've got a long story behind yours, and I'll give you the end time. So, because I was not looking to be competitive, I didn't think about a good team name. I didn't really get into it, and I just thought of something. What's different? I almost thought of Game of Jones, but I used that for fantasy football this past season.
Oh, that'd be a really good one.
So I know I like that one, but instead, did you want me to stop?
Yeah, I got a question. I know this is the only thing this season that we're kind of competing in. And you're acting like you didn't even give it any thought.
Yeah.
You're acting like you didn't even give it any thought, like you didn't care. I mean,
well, I didn't give it thought until you
or did you not?
I gave it a few minutes thought after you threw the gauntlet down, and then it just popped in my head, and I said, "Nah, I'll just go with that. It's kind of funny."
So you like it?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not good at picking fantasy names. I'm telling you right now. I do. You've seen my names; they're not very creative. You're much more creative than I am. You're a writer, so you write music and write things, and you're much.
Yeah,
more
but nobody likes my music. I've made $15 on my CD.
Well, let's don't go there. Okay.
$1,200 to me.
Okay.
All right, David.
So
What's your
I'll
team
try
name?
to think of something that would be funny, and I thought of something recent. So I'll say it. I gotta kind of spell it at the same time to get it across to you. My team name is Lala, oops.
WHOOPS.
No.
Do we have a cricket sound on your soundboard, Dwayne?
LA space LA, comma OOPS.
I'm sorry, that was Ryan that made me do that. La, comma.
Oops.
Oh, oops. I thought you said whoops.
No.
So la, oops.
Yeah.
La, oops. Not la, loop. Oops, but la.
As in
oops.
La La Land. Oops. Moonlight. You didn't watch the Oscars.
Somebody
Where's
watch the
crickets?
Oscars or
Where's the
read the
crickets?
news, apparently.
I didn't watch the Oscars. No. Oh, la. Okay. Well, why didn't you say La La Land? Oops.
Because I just cut it off. I didn't want to be too obvious. I figured most normal people would get it when I said it the first time.
Okay.
I bet Ryan got it, but
So
Yeah,
the
I didn't know you did
etymology
watch.
behind this
Of course I got
title,
it.
yes.
I love the etymology behind the title. So you got La La Land, which is where you got Lala.
Yes.
And then oops it was oops and who ended up winning?
Was it Moonlight?
Moonlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, Moonlight. I think, David, that is a very creative way to come up with a name, and I like it.
But Land and Moonlight are not in the title.
Right. I understand, but
Okay,
I'm just talking, people,
Thank you.
how did he come up with the name? Because I like that part of it. How did
Thank
you come
you.
up with the name? La La Land, oops, midnight. So you made it La La Oops. I like it. The La La
Thank
Oops.
you. I'm like it because I was waiting for you to say, "Are you kidding me?" That's the name you came up with.
So when you do the name, is it La La comma oops or is it La La Oops?
La La, comma oops.
Okay, so it's really said La La Oops, which is
Yeah.
good because there was a pause.
Yeah, like a pause.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I just hate the Oscars, so I didn't watch it. And anyway,
Yeah.
it's like the Oscars has become a place to express your political views.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch it for the same reason,
I
but
feel like every place nowadays has become
Yeah.
that.
Gosh, yeah.
except for here. So
Yeah, we don't do it here.
Right.
All right.
well,
Mine
what's Ryan's team? Do we get Ryan's team? I know he's not.
Yeah,
competing.
Ryan, what's your team name?
Mine was super creative. I just went with my team name is Kaiser Island, the name of my blog.
Dude.
Also my hashtag on their Twitter handle, whatever you call it.
So the etymology behind your title is that's the name of my blog.
It's all in the name. Yeah. No, I almost went with Kaiser Rolls, but my dad uses that one for his fantasy.
I like
football.
that.
So
All right,
you know.
David, full disclosure here.
Yes.
Before I realized was going to challenge you in a battle, had 5 options for my second word. I had in mind, hold on. I had in mind which one I wanted.
Yes.
And if I had not ended up with that one, I would not have challenged you because it wouldn't have been fair.
Thus, so my Facebook post about you already having a great name before you challenged me is not correct.
No, I had a good name before I challenged you. That's why I challenged you.
I know. So my post was right then.
Well,
Did you go with the one that I told you to go with?
You didn't tell me to go with one, Ryan.
I'm pretty sure I voted for one. You sent like 5 of us messages saying, "Hey, can you guys like rank this 1 to 5 and tell me which one's the best?"
Wait a
Like
minute. You had.
I just explained this to you, David. I just explained it to you. I am being honest with you, David. I am not cheating with you. I'm being honest with you and upfront.
I thought David was in that message. Was he not?
No, he was not.
Oh, oops.
I thought this was us picking names. I didn't realize it was you submitting 5 to Ryan, getting his opinion, and then submitting a name.
All right.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Spilling the truth, T.
All right, David. As I said before, I would not have challenged you if I felt it was unfair. My favorite title was the one I ended up doing. All right? Okay. Understand?
Sure.
All right. Dwaine's Diabolic Decapods. Dwaine's Diabolic Decapods.
The triple Ds. Okay.
Yes. Diabolic is extremely evil or cruel, expressive of cruelty or befitting hell. Showing the cunning, listen to this, showing the cunning or ingenuity or wickedness typical of the devil.
I thought this was a G-rated podcast.
It is.
No kidding. We are descending deeper and deeper.
Satan.
No, Derek, I did not have Ryan's help. That's a whole point of this, bunch of buttheads. All right. So diabolic, we understand what diabolic is. Decapods are like lobsters. They're like crustacean type of animals. So
your tribe name is Dwaine's Evil Fish.
No,
evil lobsters.
Yeah, lobsters are not fish.
That's actually what I submitted. I submitted the official name is Dwaine's Evil Fish.
Yeah. Dwaine's Diabolic Decapods. David, I spent a good 20 minutes or more looking up words. No, actually,
we definitely spent more than 20 minutes on this.
The word diabolic.
Let's be honest.
The word diabolic took me forever to find. I did synonyms because it had to begin with the D and it had to have a flow, right? Dwaine's Diabolic Decapods flows very nicely. So what do you think, David? Do you like it?
Are you like a fan of lobster or something?
No, but it's like they're on an island. They're out there with the fish and the other things that are out there. And there's always crabs going across the beach. And so I thought, diabolic, cruel. They're going to go after everybody. My team is going to destroy.
What I like about it is it's something I never would have imagined you coming up with, because you like the alliteration thing. You do that often, and it's unique. I have to give it to you. That's very unique. Evil crustaceans. That's really unique. I got to give you that.
Thank you. It's as unique as your venereal disease one.
What was the name of that? I forgot what it was.
I don't know, but it was great. It was my favorite team name
of all time. It was Worlds Apart, and I think I took it from a couple different things. But I can't remember. You said that, and I couldn't remember what I call it.
I don't remember either. Does anybody in the chat room remember David's team name that he didn't even realize what it sounded like until he said it in the podcast? Then it was like, oh crap.
Oh, I
think it was, I don't remember what it was. It began with the V, I think. And
yeah.
No, it didn't. Well, what are some venereal? No, we don't want to get into that. All right. So tonight,
on the list, just do it. Right. Ring a bell.
So right now it is Thursday night.
It wasn't gonorrhea, was it?
It was gonorrhea something.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, come on. Somebody in the chat room remembers. It was gonorrhea something.
Something. And I think I put the tribe names together. Hold on. I think I put their names together. Yeah.
Yes, there were 3 tribes. What was okay? Let's figure this out.
Apari was the blue collar tribe.
Wait, no, it'd be Messiah, Escameca, and Nagarote.
Well, Well, then
No,
that wasn't
how
where I
you
got
get-
that name from. How in the world did I get that name?
Nagamaya, Mecca. I don't know.
Gonorrhea Mecca? I don't know.
That was so awesome. I'll never forget that. That was so great. Oh, and I love that title today. And it was fun because, David, you kind of rolled with it. So you didn't mind us messing with you about it, which made it even.
Oh, no, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I took 2 tribes. I think I took Sandra's tribes and made a word out of it. I think that's what I did because that was like the first time we did that. And she was my favorite player, still is. And I think I took her tribes and made a name out of it. So,
All right. So D&D listeners, tonight I will put up a poll on our Facebook group. And I personally like both titles. I love David's La La Oops. I like where he got it from. I think it
I
flows
like
well.
how one's like 8 letters, the other one's like the entire alphabet. That's pretty cool.
Yes. One gets you more points in Scrabble than the other.
yes, you got value for
Oh,
yours.
okay.
You got point value for yours.
Yeah. So I think they're both good.
Mine took 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Mine is as long relative to yours. Mine is as long as I took relative to yours. I think I spent more time on this than planning all of March's worship schedule. That's not true.
Wow.
All right, so I'm going to put the poll on our Facebook group. Only votes in the poll count. If you put your vote down in the comments, they don't count. Only the votes that you put in the poll. All right. And that's going to go through like Sunday night. So if you have not, well, David, you want to do through Sunday night or do it through like next Wednesday?
Premiere. Do it through the premiere. Yeah.
All right. We're going to do it through like 7 p.m. Eastern time when the feedback's due. So it'll be open for a whole week.
Yeah.
We have over 900 members in our group. How cool would it be if we had like 200 people participate in the poll? That'd be pretty awesome.
Pretty cool.
Anyway, so you get to choose whose title you think wins, and don't be influenced by whatever the votes are. Just like decide before you go look, decide which one you like, then go vote. I think both are good names. And I am personally,
Just don't spend like an hour on it like Dwaine did.
Yeah, that's right. I am personally, David, not going to talk smack about your title. So I just wanted you to know that because I like your title and I'm going to be a gentleman about this.
Oh, you're a crusty crab. You're so nice.
That's right. Crusty crab. May the best title win.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Ryan, for being on the show tonight.
And for pretty much running it for us.
Yeah,
What do
you're
you
welcome for me bringing this podcast to you guys tonight.
I don't want David, you've lost me.
No, for kind of flowing it, moving.
Oh,
it
yeah.
yeah.
God,
Oh,
this-
running it for us. I thought you said
Yeah,
ruining it. I was like, you
Wow.
ruined the podcast? How rude.
David, we're friends with him. What would you say?
Why would you say that? I was like, he didn't ruin anything.
It's like when I got in
No,
a
not
fight with
even.
Rob Sesternino. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, so thank you, Ryan, for being on the show. Thank you for taking this idea and running with it and being a part of it. It
Yeah,
was a
thank
lot
you
of
for
fun.
letting me do it totally randomly and not planned and methodical at all about it.
It's awesome. I still have no idea how you did it. I don't know if you did it randomly or not, and I
we
never
don't
will
know.
know.
One of those unsolved mysteries of the world.
Yeah, because no
Right.
matter what you say, I'm going to figure you're just messing with me. So I won't know. But
What I
that's
do.
okay. We have our teams, and I'm happy with my team. David's probably happy with his team. It's going to be a fun season.
Ecstatic.
We're looking forward to podcasting every week. We're looking forward to getting back in touch with y'all, hearing your thoughts on the shows whenever they come out. It's going to be really fun. So
It's going to be a game changer.
I think it will be
I hope so.
game changer.
There we go.
All right. So thank you, David. You got anything else?
No, thanks, Ryan.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Ryan. It's been a blast. Bye, everybody.
See you.